following program may contain coarse language, suggestive dialogue, and discussion of violent imagery and sexual situations. It is intended for mature listeners who can tell the difference between facts and opinions.
Finally put Lazarus back into the grave on this episode of the Toonami Faithful Podcast. I am your host, Sketch, and with me I have...
your sometimes co-host and editor, Happy Kuro Kitty.
And...
an editorial writer, Laser Kid.
And...
social media and streaming Steven.
And returning to the podcast for the first time in quite a while.
What's up, everybody? Newly appointed ESPN employee CJ Maffris is back.
Hey! Congratulations!
Hey. Hello. Thank you. No autographs, please.
This guy.
This guy. I am now an employee of the mouse.
The enemy.
No.
The evil empire.
No. You can't say
Not
that. I'll leave the
empire.
podcast. I will easily leave the podcast very quickly.
No company is truly a good company, am I right?
I was just being...
Yeah, we're doing it. We're finally talking about the 13th episode of Lazarus. And we have a topical discussion to spin off of that, which CJ suggested and wanted to come on and talk about. But let's get right into it with the 13th episode of Lazarus. The world is yours. Now, when we last left off, a lot of things were winding down, but Abel was in the middle of trying to arrest Schneider and free Hirsch, and he does succeed in doing both of those things, and finally reveals now that the reason why he's actually attempting to arrest Schneider is because Inscom was developing a bioweapon derived from Hapna, which is a big no-no. Big no-no. Meanwhile, back at Lazarus headquarters, it's Dr. 909. I can't believe any of my podcast co-hosts could remember that guy's name. It's Dr. 909 is assisting Lazarus and currently looking into the Hundun program. But it requires both authorization from the president and the secretary of state. And everyone's like, well, shoot, how are we going to get that? And he's like, well, don't worry about it. This is what I specialize in. Okay, buddy.
You threw shade at me for not knowing his name. What the hell?
Come on, not a single one of you. Not a single one. They maybe said it once.
They maybe said it once that episode. Maybe.
404, Doctor Name Not Found.
I'm not a co-host anymore. You can't blame me at all.
It's 909.
Well, we don't. We all will remember
I
it
know.
now.
I was trying to make a dumb pun.
A still very injured Axel sneaks out of the clinic where Millie is trying to watch him, and he goes to confront Soryu after receiving a cryptic text about meeting under the angel or something like that. And they face off atop of Babylonia Tower. Yeah, that big set piece that they are finally really making use of. And I guess he wants to still finish the job of killing Axel, but really it seems like he's more so there to ask about Hundun. And like, okay, so they're going to fight to the death so that it'll tell him about this Hundun thing. Okay, all right. But Soryu's not exactly alone, because Inscom gets involved. And while this really awesome fight sequence is happening on top of the tower, Inscom fires off stuff and the building starts collapsing. And now they're fighting and fleeing as the tower is collapsing And it's absolutely ridiculous. Just turn your brain off. Don't even think about it. But even though Axel manages to survive that, Soryu is crushed by the debris. And at that point, it looks like he might be dead. So Axel asks, hey, yo, you still alive, man? Let me answer your question. And Axel tells him, after the Hundun got those holes bound into its face, on the 7th day, it died. Always the 7th day. And Soryu replies, oh yeah, I just remembered. So now I'm no longer a monster. Isn't that right? And he dies with a smile. And I'm like, okay, let's not pull a Finna here. Let's not give the antagonist closure better than the heroes, please. Thankfully, I don't think the show does that. But it really reminded me of that moment. I'm like, oh, okay. Sure. So Chris retrieves Axel, and the whole team meet up and assembles at the homeless camp where Skinner has been the whole time. We knew it. It's good to finally know for sure that is exactly the case. And after all this time, the flower finally comes into play because they're trying to figure out where Skinner is. Doug apparently doesn't remember where he saw him before, I guess, because he certainly doesn't bring it up. And Leland's like, hey, what about that flower? And tells Jill about the flower, and Jill's like, oh, okay, yeah, I know a place where you can find that. So that's where they find Skinner. And all of them, Abel and Hirsch included, first I had to mention our favorite police officer spots Axel and Chris. And he's like, hey, wait a minute, it's you! And he's gearing up to arrest him, and Axel's like, whoa, wait, Skinner's right over there. You better call backup.
Well played.
Well played. Very well played. And this is the moment when they're confronting Skinner, who's kind of chilling out in a little folding chair by the water. Obviously, his eyes are no longer functioning very well. They already said that he was blind, and I think they said he was also deaf, but that's clearly not the case. But yeah, he's just by the water, and everybody walks over and confronts him. And this is where Abel reveals something I think the rest of us put together already. But I don't think any of us really thought that every single person in Lazarus was present at the Schiphol airport incident. But when...
I mean, we'll need to go back and listen, but I feel like I definitely said that during the Schiphol episode.
I know that we thought Chris was. We thought that was the same airport where she died and then had plastic surgery afterward.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe Axel was in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think any of us really thought, except also when now I'm blanking on a name, and it's really bad because it's one of the main characters. Mad
Leland?
Screamer. Mad Screamer.
That's
Elena.
Yeah.
Elena did mention to Popcorn Wizard that one time she got really, really sick in an incident.
Yeah,
and I think
that's what prompted that conversation. It's all coming back to me because we noticed that Doug's talked about when he had an injury at the same time, and that's how we speculated at that point that perhaps they were all there.
Yeah, turns out they were all there, though the young'uns were really quite young at the time. So Leland and Elena were both very young. And this happens, and they were all affected by the hapna-based bioweapon that Skinner was trying to smuggle a sample of. But instead of killing them, it somehow mutated their genes like they were bang babies and static. or the X-Men. And they died and arose again, hence the name Lazarus. And I just love this reveal because Doug is like, the raising of Lazarus.
It all makes sense.
It all makes sense now. Oh, that's why they call them Lazarus. So, remember when Hirsch was like, Axel will shed a light on all of these things? It's like, okay, but actually, all of them? Really? Not just Axel? So yeah, they were all recruited because they are immune to Hapna. And excuse me, if that's the case, why aren't you like trying to develop a cure from their blood? Just saying.
That's a great question.
I know, right? It's a pretty good question. But don't worry, they get the cure. It's really super easy, actually, barely an inconvenience. But it just comes down to Skinner being like, well, I lost my faith in humanity after that incident. Do you think that the world deserves saving? And Axel chimes in, is like, the world's flawed, but it still holds things worth protecting. And moved by this, Skinner's like, all right, here you go. And then he dies. Okay.
Yeah, that was interesting.
It was a choice.
To kill him or
And
for him to die? I was gonna say, I don't think he chose to die.
No, and Hirsch even asks, why didn't you cure yourself? And he's just kind of like, I think we really, it's a bit hard to understand Skinner's motivations, and
I think that's the problem. He comes off as a little wishy-washy.
Really? I disagree vehemently. I feel like he was one of the characters I understood very well.
I mean, I thought I understood him pretty well. And then this episode, he's just like, okay, well, you found me. Here's the thing. Why'd you do it? Huh?
I mean,
I could be a Kayaba.
It could have used a little more time on that.
The whole journey explains his motives. He was just altruistic enough to give everybody a chance, but he wanted people to discover that it wasn't him, that it was malicious intenders, if you will, that had put them in this place to begin with. And he figured the only way he could make it public and get the world to come together for a cure is to make it so that it was the world's problem, because the world didn't care enough about, say, climate change. They weren't coming together for that issue, so it needed to be more apparent that there was some urgency. So if it's affecting every individual, then maybe that would bring, world governments together to work for change. And it didn't quite work out the way he wanted, but it worked out just enough, because this journey that we were all taken on, like, we got to see the different people that were loyal to him, and then the group themselves coming from different parts of life coming together. I think ultimately
it would have been nice to have heard that from him.
But like, he didn't need to explain it. That's why he created this trail of breadcrumbs, so that they could discover it on their own. And ultimately he was done. He never intended to survive any of this. This was all to say, if humanity wants to survive, here are the tools you have. But he's finished with this world. He had accomplished what he felt like he needed to accomplish, and he wasn't going to get anything else out of it. And I mean, you can tell, like he may have felt not optimistic about humanity's future based on what he saw, but he wanted to give them a chance. They were ready to take it, and that's why he asks Axel that question. I feel like it was all really built into the plot. Like, it didn't need to be written in as exposition.
I saw some of that, but it's
to
have that inferred. I agree that a lot of that is inferred, but I would have liked to have had a little more time with him for him to flush out not necessarily those details, but his own voice to make him a more flushed out person.
Maybe.
That's fair.
I don't think I would have
Though-
gotten anything else out of him that he didn't already share with us from.
Well, it's not about the
The-
details, it's about the
Yeah.
way he would talk, the way he would behave. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I guess so.
Though we should remember that ultimately it wasn't his fault that Hapna was released
Exactly.
on the public.
Exactly.
It wasn't his fault.
That's
He
true.
took he took the blame for it. But it wasn't his fault. But he gave, like, he couldn't just point to Inscom and be like, well, these are bad people and you should go after them. He decided to give the world a villain.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
mean,
big
if you
cliche,
think about
but
the way things work and with misinformation and disbelief, how else was he going to get all eyes on this issue unless he made it the world's problem? I think that was the most effective way to expose them for the atrocity that they committed, which was creating this bioweapon. And now it's like, all right, you want this bioweapon, now see the damage that it'll do. That's what you created. I'm just giving it away like you were planning on using it anyway on human beings. So you can see a little bit of his jaded side in that too, but it's also very satisfying to see Smug Schneider, get arrested and dealt with.
Oh yes, that
my
was very sad.
gosh,
Smug
this
Schneider.
dude is like, what are you telling me I'm breaking the Geneva Conventions? Everybody does that. I was like, okay, buddy.
Yikes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do
I was
you
a
mean?
little
We just
emotional
committed
by
a
the
little war
ending.
crime. It's okay.
No, that's understandable. Though before we completely wrap up here, since they completed their mission, Abel relieves the Suicide Squad of their duties and grants them full pardons for offering them a choice to remain as a unit in order to solve more of the world's problems, because clearly the world has a lot more problems to solve. And they all accept the invitation to stay. Axel is like, I was looking for a chance to kick more ass. And then Hapna is the cure for Hapna is quickly mass produced and distributed globally. I do mean quickly. And we get a montage of many of the characters that we met along the journey, which I always appreciate those sorts of things. Like we saw Elena's friend trying out fast food for the first time, and it was adorable. and it's just a little too on the nose, but the oh gosh, what was the name of the like the medical people they had the conference, like those people, they have a big sign that says end of Hapna, welcome pain. Or something like that.
That was pretty good.
We welcome the pain. Well, that about sums up everything now, doesn't it?
Yeah. Learned their lesson, I suppose. For now.
I will say, around the 12th episode, as I was mostly just getting more and more frustrated that they introduced this assassin character kind of needlessly in the final leg. I know it relates to some things, but you really didn't have to have it. But despite that, despite me generally feeling like they dragged their feet at times, or they just kind of meandered, I was really satisfied with this ending. I was surprised how satisfied I was with this ending. I was like, okay, that brought it together. A little cliche, but I thought it worked.
It worked. It did work. It was pretty solid.
Yeah.
Certainly ran the runway better than any other Toonami original I've seen.
Yes. yes. And before we get into talking about those things, I should mention you know how every episode ends with it saying, counting down how many days left until Hapna was going to start killing people. And instead of that, it says 0 days left for us.
Yeah, that was a little dark.
This show does not pull any punches. It does not. Not at all.
I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing my part. Can't put this on me.
And at the end, they give a nice tribute to one of the creators that we lost along the way of this show's production, Keiko Nobumoto, one of Shinichiro Watanabe's writing partners for many, many years. She did contribute some to this series before tragically passing away. And I think it's good that they gave that tribute at the end there. That was very nice.
It's always touching when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, she has an impressive CV.
Oh, I mean, shit. Absolutely. No question about that. Yeah. Okay. Well, being our guest, CJ, I would love to know your thoughts on this final episode and the series as a whole.
I can't give you much about the final episode because I haven't seen it yet. I plan to
Oh.
watch part of the marathon today.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, I don't care about spoilers. as
Spoilers!
much. No, I don't. Literally, Luffy found the One Piece. I mean, I know all the spoilers. It's fine.
Why'd
it's
you
not a
tell
big
me
deal.
that? I didn't know! Damn it!
I
See,
got
I'm not
another
the
one
only
for
one that
you.
ruins things.
Goku dies.
Exactly.
More than once.
Yes.
All right, now you're talking crazy talk.
Alright,
No,
stop.
it's more so of a thing where, and this will be more apparent with the kind of discussion about today's episode, but I wasn't really keeping up to date with a lot of Toonami stuff. It wasn't until like recently when I was on Twitter, like during close shows, and when we're waiting to like for games to end and things to record, I'll find myself on Twitter just to be like, oh, wonder what went through the day. And of course, I see discourse about this show, and I'm like, "What's this?" And then it's like, "Oh, it's original for Toonami. That's awesome." Sketch also gave me some background on how it came to be as well on that podcast episode or that interview that was conducted with Jason DeMarco. So for me, it was just kind of like, "All right, let me see how this goes." And so far, for me, it's been fun. But my taste with anime is a lot different than what it used to be. And what I mean by that is I don't like analyze and can discern like what I think can be critically acclaimed or what critically can't be acclaimed as much, just because my interactions with the media lately has been very minuscule. The last anime besides this that I saw was all of a sudden I read that there was a season 3 of ReZero, so I was like, wait, what? And so
Yep.
And there'll be a season 4.
I saw
Yes,
that
next
as well, which is
year.
very exciting. Oh, what could have been? But I'm at least interested to like see all the kind of things like play out, and just to get kind of a better idea on what's been kind of brewing with not only the series through my personal watch, but throughout from what I've seen through the discourse, which again, Sketch will easily transition to for the remainder of this podcast episode kind of thing. But overall, I mean, I've been fine with it. Like I have, what sucks right now is that I have no strong opinions yet because I haven't seen it in totality, right? Once I do that, I'm able to kind of gather a bit more. But at least for me, I like the art style a lot. Like it fits the kind of mold that I generally enjoy, like aesthetically. Oh, and that's a lie, actually. The last anime I saw was last week. I just remembered. I saw the new Panty and Stocking. Let's effing go, boys. We are so
It's
bad.
like they never left.
It's like they never left.
That first episode was literally like an episode we didn't get 15 years ago.
It was the DLC,
Yeah.
But once I complete the series, I'll definitely be able to have a bit more of strong opinions either or, because I mean I can't I can't like put a like stamp of approval or disapproval until that, just because of, surprisingly, we found ourselves a polarizing show. God, don't you remember those days, Sketch? It's like Iron-Blooded Orphans never left.
Which, in
Yeah.
hindsight, I don't like it anymore.
Oh. Yeah, it's kind of not aged well.
You could say that about a lot of things.
Oh, for sure.
It did not age
Yeah.
well. It did not
No,
age well at all.
not at all. But it's just like it harkens back to a time where, I guess for me at least, I romanticize a bit more with Toonami on Adult Swim. And so, for me, having something that actually had garnered some authentic division on either side of that spectrum harkens back to, again, Iron Blooded Orphans, Nagami Got Kill, even Kill la Kill, right? So it's just,
Yeah, it's
that to me
definitely
is,
Kill la Kill.
that's why, well, I just happen to really like it. But regardless, it's that's why I was at least interested enough to be like, hey, I can, give you some content on that kind of thing, at least on that alone. So that's at least how I stand with it. I'm excited to
How
at least
far
have
are you into the series?
3 episodes, so I'm just going to be watching the entire thing.
Oh wow.
Well,
You
Okay.
came on here to talk about the finale when you haven't watched the whole series. I'm sorry.
Well, it
I
wasn't
think that's
necessarily
Bold choice.
It is,
It
but
is
it
a
isn't
bold
about
choice.
it's not necessarily about the finale itself for me. It's about what's been going on outside of the series that I think is the more interesting type of thing. Because I don't know, I just don't see that as much anymore. I'll see it in sports, but like that's about it. Entertainment wise, I don't really see that side of it anymore, and it's not nowhere near what it used to be. Like let's be crazy, or let's be realistic here. Like the things that are happening on social media are so small compared to the broader spectrum of a lot of things, right? But I just found it interesting that there has been some sort of great line in the sand that I again haven't seen in years.
I don't
Almost
know. I feel like there's a great line in the sand for a number of Toonami originals.
Well, originals, yes, but when was the last what was the last original? It was that ninja one, right?
Ninja Kamui, yeah.
It was
Ninja
Uzumaki.
Kamui.
Oh, was it?
Well,
No,
oh, you
Ninja
mean
Kamui.
yeah? If we're talking fully original IP, yes. Ninja
Yeah.
Kamui.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's what Lazarus is, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Because like I know what was it,
Uzumaki's an
Shenmue,
adaptation.
the Junichi Ito things, and for me at least, I've been noticing more of that. Like you have a very huge line in the sand involving Lazarus, and I think what makes that at least interesting too is because guess who created it? Oh boy, it's Toonami's favorite producer or creator that they always seem to come back. It's like, just when you thought I got out, they keep pulling me back in. And it leaves this kind of, I don't know, like, I don't know if I want to say like a malign type of legacy, but it isn't as universal as it once was.
Are you
It
talking
certainly
about
doesn't feel that
Watanabe?
way. Yeah. I don't hear the same type of praise for him that I would have expected of someone of their caliber, especially with a lot of the stuff they made. I haven't heard like since Space Dandy probably for me.
Yeah, and while we absolutely love Space Dandy, and people with good taste love Space Dandy,
Absolutely.
it is not that popular.
Right. And so
It is more popular than, say, Carolyn Tuesday, which really flew under the radar for a number of reasons.
That's a gem. It's like
It
a
is.
shining
It's
diamond
really
in the rough.
good.
Yeah, it's
It's a
beautiful.
fantastic show, and more people should
Yeah.
have saw it.
And Umeko, she tells me she has the soundtrack to the whole series that she listens to sometimes. She's like raves about it.
Such a good soundtrack. The songs in that are.
but
And
you
they
get
got
my
so many
point.
talented music artists in that. Yeah,
You're talking about the creator of, one of what people would call like part of that holy grail of, anime properties and Bebop, and it's just been kind of a roller coaster of like highs and lows. And I find that very interesting. To me, I make it akin to like like a superstar athlete who like has really really good seasons, MVPs, but then doesn't win a title. Great example would be like the Golden State Warriors that went 73-9, best record in the NBA, and they didn't win a title. Same with the Boston Bruins more recently when they had the most points ever in a regular season and they got bounced in the first round. You know, like storied type of franchises that have this really kind of weird roller coaster. And I find it so interesting that Toonami finds itself yet again in the, I wouldn't say in the crosshairs, but more so in the sense of just like it was like the carrier of another type of discussion like that, which I find very interesting. Which to me makes it to where I'd watch it. So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even be watching this. I would not even be on the episode right now.
You know, it's interesting you say that because I don't know it sounds like you didn't hear the interview that Sketch and I did with
He
Jace
did. He
with
listened.
Oh, okay. Okay, because he mentions that this was something that was never meant initially for Toonami. It was something that they were going to partner up for HBO specifically, and
Yes.
then it gradually migrated to this. So, you know, the aspect of this being like the quintessential Toonami show, like it kind of
I don't mean it like I
evolved
don't mean it
into
like
that.
that.
Yeah, no, it kind of evolved. Like it just the way you said like they approached him, I was like, well, they didn't approach him for this for us. It just became that way over time, and I would say like it differs, even though it does feature a lot of action. This is a much more cerebral show, and if you look at his work over the years, how it's evolved, there's always been that evolution towards a much more cerebral outlook, and he was intentional about making it reflect current political climates. He is intentional about having a message that he wanted to share through this show and the audience that he wanted to share it with. And so, you know, having that discussion about healthcare, having that discussion about globalization, about climate change, about all these things, like making you think about these things. And if you can look back and just see a trend towards the more cerebral outlook, and it's an impressive thing for Toonami to embrace as well. I mean, they did it with the Mushroom series, which is Common Side Effects. They did it with Common Side Effects, where you see much more a thought-provoking programming and being embraced, and yet it seemed to like fit because it was wacky and weird and edgy, which is something else that kind of fits in with the flow. So, you know, I thought that this felt very natural. Obviously, like every show that plays, it's not going to make 100% of the people happy. That's fine. People are vocal about what they like and they don't like, and sometimes it has to do with wanting to fall within a certain set of like what they want to see in their action animation. I think that's okay, but the fact is they sat and they watched it and they thought about it, so the message has been conveyed. There's an achievement there, because if they didn't, they wouldn't have sat all the way through it, you know what I mean? So people did enough to even complain about it in some of our talkbacks.
Right.
So I
And
I think
I just
that,
mean
yeah.
it more of a sense that I'm just surprised, or not surprised. I just find it kind of funny how yet again it's another Watanabe show that that does that, and not so much on the subject matter itself, just more of the fan reaction. I'm just like, of course, it couldn't be like Sketch doing a show, and it's like, oh nope, that's where they get this kind of reaction. It's
Yeah.
always him, which I find really funny, especially because I agree with you. I think the level of
Yeah.
storytelling from a lot of Watanabe shows are fantastic. And that's just
Mhm.
me personally.
I'd
It's
agree.
because you have good taste.
Well, I wouldn't. I
We
like
have great
handshakers for
taste.
God. I like handshakers, so I don't know if I can
I know you're
qualify.
bullshitting me. I know you hate that show.
I
No, you're
I've only
bullshitting
brought
me.
one anime from Massachusetts to Connecticut, and it's handshakers, and I'm looking at it right now.
Oh my god, you did
Oh,
that to torture
no.
yourself.
Well,
God,
Why?
you
that is
know,
so
Why?
disturbing. I
Why?
can't.
you
I
have
can't.
you have to commit to the bit.
Uh,
Am I right, Sketch?
Yeah,
I
I guess
appreciate
so.
that though.
You know, I saw Handshakers in the last chance sale on Crunchyroll store the other day. I went, It's like $15. I didn't buy it, but I'm still thinking about it.
No, I
Like,
am
it's
more
a piece of anime history, man. You can't just.
It actually is history, but one that I will chronicle. You do not have to carry that burden, Sketch. I will protect you. Although, funny enough, I didn't even pay for it.
Right, that was sent as a review copy, wasn't it?
It was.
I hope you
yes,
gave
back
them
when
an honest
Funimation would send us stuff
response.
to review.
It was my. I have to look if I still have it. It was my favorite review I've ever done because I didn't have to take it seriously whatsoever. Those are the best ones, man.
Yeah, you can be a little
Besides the
wicked.
actual best ones.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm sure that Laser has thoughts, but I would like to hear from Steven about the final episode of Lazarus and the series as a whole.
Yeah, I wrote something because live tweeting that show was something else. I mean, it was fun to do it, but it presented challenges that no other one of the challenges presented by live tweeting that show is the story beats. Usually when I would do that, I could find the story beats within about 1 or 2 episodes, figure it out, and then post what I can post from there. But with this one, it felt not off, but it was all over the place, right? There was something going on here, something going on there, and it's like, okay, that's a natural evolution. You have 2 parts of it. But then it didn't feel like it was off. It was just felt like that it didn't flow right. It was a different flow than most anime shows or most any show that you would like live tweet or anything. But that that that's that's my side of it on that. But I do have some thoughts that I wrote down. Most of it is well, some of it, a small part of this is about discussing the discussion and the discord from it. So the early buzz of Lazarus painted it as not enough of Cowboy Bebop or too serious that adult swim forced the tone with Jason DeMarco and everything else, and then misinformation came through that it was all that it was Jason forced the network and gave Watanabe hey, you can't do this comedy show that he wanted to do,
Not
and
true.
and he gave him this thing of like, hey, I want this hard edge sci-fi show, and it's like, no, he gave him more freedom to do what he wanted. Maybe I wouldn't say that on 100% that's what Watanabe wanted to do. I mean, he probably did want to do some comedy show, or he probably did want to do something different that's in a different wheelhouse than Cowboy Bebop, but he did something, and he created something. So if you're going to compare every new Watanabe project to Bebop, it sells each of the shows short, and Lazarus stands
Mhm.
on its own as a tense, stylish ride, right? Because
Good
it
point.
is you need to, you know. Did you have to say something, Kuro?
No, I said great point. That's a great
Yeah,
point.
it makes no sense. You're gonna, say, hey, I'm gonna throw all this stuff because in here because it's not Cowboy Bebop. Well, guess what? Cowboy Bebop wasn't like when it first came out either, right? And so it's like
Mm-mm.
you're gonna now base it with a 20-year thing of like, oh, I grew into it. I'm the original one. My profile pic on Discord is from Space Dandy. Yeah, you think I didn't like? I loved it, right in the beginning. Yeah, I did. Maybe I was one of the only ones. Who knows? I don't know. But who cares? You're basing it on the show alone. You're not going to base it on the guy's history. He's not dead yet. You don't have to write a obit for that whole thing all the way along. Um, when it comes to the action atmosphere and the soundtrack, Lazarus hits its stride with that. The action and the music always delivered. There's some pulse-pounding firefights. There's rescues. There's a killer lo-fi jazz that keeps you locked in. You know, it's it's fun, and even the plot can stall in the quieter episodes, but Watanabe lets it breathe, and each character and explores the dynamics of each character, and it absorbs the world's looming threat. And and this goes back to that first point. In that era of 10 to, maybe 12, sometimes 16 episodes anime runs, those softer chapters are a bold strength, I would say, and not a weakness, because you could have lengthened it out, but everyone's going to these shorter anime runs, and it's like, the next episode of Attack on Titan, what was it? It was like 6 episodes, and it's like, there goes that season. I'm like, I'm used to things running for like 50 50 episodes if I'm watching Kamen Rider, that thing's going on for like the whole year. And it's like, you're looking at it, it's like, yeah, it is short, but I mean, did it really, need to be longer? At some points, I would say, yeah, maybe they could have 1 or 2 more episodes, but I think this was a good length. And then let's say, okay, 2 more things, and I'm done. Back to what you said, Kuro, in the beginning about the Skinner's fate and that thematic punch. Skinner's grand experiment ends with that poetic justice. His death mirrors the apocalypse that he unleashed. And even though he became that target, I did have a question, like, is his name wiped off as he's the one created it, or did it go like, the Inscom? That is a looming question. It's like, did the actual truth come out? Was he cleared of everything, or was it like Inscom's thing in that? Because technically he did do it, but it was like he did it to smuggle it out in a good way, I guess you could call him. Maybe a anti-hero or a sideways hero, or maybe, I don't know. But he aimed to force humanity to confront its complacency and then pay the ultimate price with his hubris. The world rebuilds, the safeguards are set, but human nature endures. Lazarus doesn't claim to fix society with, a hapna, but it holds up a mirror to what they're doing. And then my final verdict on all of this stuff: Lazarus isn't a genre redefiner, but it is a solid thriller with a memorable style and a strong piece with a soundtrack that sticks. A few more episodes might have tightened the pacing, but in today's short one landscape, the series balances mood, momentum, as well as anything. For me personally, it earns like a 7.5 out of 10. It's definitely worth a second watch with this sub marathon that's coming up right after this. If you're listening to this live, if you're not, it already passed. Don't worry about it. But it is a welcomes addition to the Toonami lineup, and yeah, I would gladly watch it for more, to see any of the second Easter eggs or anything that was hidden in there that we didn't see the first time.
All right, Sketch, that's it. He said it all. We have nothing else.
Honestly, I don't think I can top that.
That was beautifully done, Steven.
so
Because you are right. You are totally right about how I even get annoyed where people are like, well, it isn't Bebop, so it sucks. It's like, no, it's not. That's not the thing. It's just, I don't know what it is with fans, but like, they just want the same things. But then when they get the same things, they're pissed off. I don't get it.
It's like, I want the same thing. This is just the same thing.
So, but no,
it's just exactly what you just asked for.
Beautifully said. I could not have said anything better. I absolutely love your breakdown of the whole thing.
Thank you. I took 2 weeks to write that.
2 weeks.
See, it's a good thing we waited 2 weeks. That was worth it. It's worth the wait. Yeah. Wow. Very, very well said. You sure you don't want to add anything, Laser?
I mean, I can't. There's no way I'm going to be able to top that. But my basic thoughts is, I thought it was an enjoyable run. It had good characters, good characterization. A little slow, not the best use of time at times, but it was an enjoyable experience, and I definitely recommend it. I'd agree with the 7.5. I think that's a fair rating.
Yeah, I think that is definitely a fair rating. I think you said it before, that if you give it a 6 or below, you're crazy, and if you give it an 8 or above, you're pushing it.
So
think
how
you said that
many?
before.
My scaling method is rated out of 1 out of 2 handshakers. So where are we looking at?
No handshakers.
No
I
handshakers.
will not be shaking your
Shouldn't-
hand. Says Kuro.
Shouldn't you be like rating it by fingers of handshakers?
Oh my god.
There's 10 fingers.
Stop. You're making this weirder.
But yeah, I saw someone say that on
visibly-
It is
Twitter.
my
It's like
goal in life to make everything weird.
if you rate it less than a 6, you're crazy. If you rate it more than 8, you're crazy. I think that's about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sketch, I'd like
It's-
to
it's
hear
right
what
in
you
that strike
thought
zone.
of this finale and this series overall.
I did give some brief thoughts, but yeah, I do like how it brings it all together at the end, even though it's cliche. It's totally cliche that they were all there. That's why they're called Lazarus. Yada yada. It's all connected. It's all been connected the whole time. Also, he's been in the homeless camp the entire time, and we all saw it in the episode 3. We all saw it. Or was it 2? I don't know. It's a blur.
There were 3.
It was 3. Okay. Yeah, that's when they go to the homeless camp. Doug and Axel do. Yeah. We were like, isn't that the guy?
Yeah, we were wondering. We were debating that.
Sneaky, very sneaky. And I have my qualms with the pacing of the story, but it has some episodes that are just gorgeous, or they're very thought-provoking. The episode where he sends them all to check out the different islands that are submerged, that was a really great episode.
Fantastic episode, yeah.
And there were definitely times where the political commentary was a little too heavy-handed. I had a friend who bailed after episode 3. He's like, no, this is too political. I'm out.
That's too bad.
Okay.
That to me is weak-minded. I made it to 3, and I'm gonna be rewatching to make sure I see the whole thing. Get on my level. Although to be
Yeah.
fair, I've just seen a lot of crap too that I can stomach.
It's just funny to me that it was episode 3 and not like one of the other episodes where it gets way more political. way more political.
Yeah,
like,
but
come
not,
on.
it doesn't feel like it's trying to throw it in your face. It's just stating,
It's not prescriptive,
It's-
it's descriptive.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's just depicting the world largely as it is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not going, oh, you need to support X, Y, and Z viewpoints. No, it's like, hey, here's the state of the world. And that's the way you do this, because that's going to make us, the viewers, come to our own conclusions. That's great storytelling.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you're having a
But it's
reaction
also
to
great
that,
world building.
Yes.
and if you're having a reaction to that, that's something like maybe something internal you want to think about. Why are you having that reaction? Because this isn't telling you anything that you don't already know.
Right? Ain't that the truth?
And who says the things you do can't correlate to what you're watching? Playing Final Fantasy VII was the best decision I've ever made right now because it's the same damn thing.
Fun.
Dang it, Shinra.
fun. Yeah, fun connection there.
Shinra would put out Hopna.
I totally would. Sheesh. Now, no doubt about it, this is a great production value for this show. The action sequences, getting the John Wick guy, good call. Really, here's a fun thing. Did you know that I know a lot of people give the Russo brothers like all the credit for Captain America: Civil War, but Chad Stahelski was the action coordinator for that. So the fact that they have that elevator scene in Lazarus is like he's aping his own stuff,
Mhm.
That's great.
which you're allowed
Wait,
to do.
which
That's
Captain
totally
America
legit.
movie?
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Oh, that's one of the best ones too.
It is.
I know,
It
right?
really
Haven't
is.
Oh
seen
my-
it.
Oh,
Sorry.
Kuro, you're high.
I'm
will
not
say
a
this.
Marvel person.
I will
It
say
doesn't
this
matter
with-
if you're
you
not
don't
a
actually
Marvel
have
person.
to be for that one.
it's really
It's a standalone one. It's a good
It really
standalone
is.
movie, actually. That's what I'm surprised about, because like it's one of those few that you could just like if I see it on TV, I'll leave it on because I'm like I don't care about the timeline, the multiverse, all that other bullshit. I absolutely love just being able to see that whole story of the Winter Soldier one. It was my favorite, probably my second favorite because Iron Man 1 started the
You'll
whole
definitely
thing.
get more out of it if you saw the first Captain America, which is a fun movie. It's a
It
really
is.
fun
Unless it's Wolverine, preferably naked. I'm not interested.
Oh
movie.
my.
Just
So
being
we need to
honest.
get you Deadpool 3 then.
And
I
I
love
thought
Deadpool
this
3.
was
Love Deadpool,
Deadpool
3.
3 is
sketch. I thought this was a family show.
I thought this
No.
was a family show. Are you kidding?
No.
You would be hard pressed to find an episode of this podcast that isn't rated explicit.
Oh gosh.
It's like as soon as I hear the right swear word, I'm like, okay, we're explicit now.
Yeah.
Or the shows on Toonami on Adult Swim, they deal with some heavy topics, so it's inevitable when you're talking about a show like Common Side Effects and all the things that happen in that. Like it's a mature discussion. Okay,
What
it's a
happened to the
mature discussion.
podcast I loved, sketch?
Don't you remember Primal Season 2?
Listen.
Oh, violent goodness.
Listen, first of all, Primal's one of the top 3 Western animated shows in the planet. So you put
It's
respect
pretty
on
good.
that name. You put respect
Pretty
on
good.
that name.
Look, I fully respect Primal. I'm a diehard for Symbionic Titan, but Primal might be my second favorite. It might be. I know that seems like heresy because Samurai Jack is Samurai Jack.
Not my number 1.
But it might be. It might be. I don't know. It just might click more boxes for me, and I don't know. I think Samurai Jack is easier to rewatch, though. Easily easier to rewatch. We're getting off here. So this show, Lazarus, I will say, I think without question, the most satisfying ending a Toonami original has ever had. For me,
Absolutely agree.
like some of the other ones, I would say overall might be a better experience overall, but this one sticks to landing, and a lot of those, not really, not really. Even if it's like the most basic ending, like I thought the ending to Black Lotus was fine, but it just didn't do much for me. It's like, oh, okay, it's over. But this, it leaves you, it gives you something to think about. It overall brings everything together nicely. I think it clicks way more of the boxes, and I don't know. I really didn't think they were gonna pull it off, even as far as episode 12, but they did it. But that being said, I have mixed feelings on this show. I think overall it's a solid production. It has good characters that I wish were better fleshed out. And I love the vibe of the show. I think the show has excellent vibes. And
I'm actually kind of half excited at the idea of a season 2.
Me too. I think this did a wonderful job of tying up this story and leaving the door open for future things. Though I will say, I saw this comment from Josh Cage and Samurai that isn't in our talkbacks for this episode, but it was in another conversation. It was in a prior podcast actually. They said these characters were made for this story. They served their purpose. You don't necessarily have to get anything more for them or have them do anything else. And I agree with that. But I think there is definitely potential to do more with these characters. And they got enough meat on their bones, even though we don't know much about them, that I think it would be good. I would really like to see another story with these characters. And I think they did an excellent job of ending one story and leaving it entirely open to something else. And a lot of shows do not succeed at that. They either completely botch the ending and you need a sequel because nothing's satisfied otherwise. I'm looking at you, Unicorn Warriors Eternal.
Yeah, please. I
Yeah.
need more of that. Need more of that.
Yeah. And this is even better than, say, Invisible Fight Girl, which just kind of ends.
Or Invincible
There's-
Fight Girl.
There's totally more story to tell there. Or Common Side Effects. Some people feel like, that's a fine story all on its own, but there's definitely more you could do with that. But this, like, we dealt with the central topic, had many things to say, and it all wrapped up. But it's completely open-ended, and I think that's great. I think that is how this should have ended. If it ended with them disbanding, it would have felt just kind of cliche if they ever got back together. But like, we're getting the gang back together.
But Sketch, that's the theme of this podcast.
It is, isn't it, though?
Yeah. Getting the game back
And-
together.
They even had this conversation on that episode where they were checking out the places, where Leland's like, hey, maybe we should stick together. And everybody's like, I don't know. And it shows growth as characters that they're all like, yeah, let's stay together. They have a found family dynamic, and I do wish we had just had more scenes to really enjoy that aspect. But I think we did get a lot of good ones. Like when they're hanging out, having the barbecue, and Axel uses a flamethrower. Or that really tender moment after the awful ordeal at the cult, and Chris invites Elena to just lay down with her, for some human comfort. I'm like, that's great. I saw somebody else, I forget who, said in comparison to Cowboy Bebop, where the characters always kept their fences up all the way till the end. It's nice to see Watanabe have characters that grow together and form a bond. I like that. I really do. So I would love to see more from these characters. I think there's a lot. I'm just repeating myself at this point. I think there's a lot of potential for another season. And when they were first announcing it, they're like, we'd like to do more if this is successful. And so far, it sounds like Watanabe and the team are very happy. And Warner Brothers Discovery is very happy with how it's gone. So if they'll give Ninja Kamui not one, but 2 more seasons, they gotta give Lazarus more. Come on. Come
Absolutely.
on. Ninja Kamui didn't need more. I don't mind that it's getting
it.
more, but it's getting it. This more so is just asking for something to continue it. So I hope that it does. Overall, yeah, it's like IGPX is still the best to me. But if we're not counting IGPX, it might be the best one since. But I always will have that spot in my heart for Fooly Cooly Alternative, and Shoegaze is just about as good as Alternative. It just didn't get nearly as much screen time to tell whatever it could. But I thought it was really good for what it was. So it's up there for me. Lazarus is way up there for me. Which is nice. But I will say, I'm still kind of waiting for Toonami to, just an absolute banger. It hasn't happened yet. But we're closer.
We're
and
getting
that shows
there.
progress.
If we
Maybe-
can consistently
maybe Street
this
Fighter.
level, we're gonna get a banger eventually.
Yeah, here's hoping. And I think ultimately, I know people have been like, oh, Watanabe is going off. He's washed Nabe now. It's like, first
That's
of
really
all,
gross.
y'all didn't watch Carol and Tuesday, clearly.
Yeah.
Second of all, I don't even think Cowboy Bebop is his best thing.
I mean,
But-
I
that's
don't
my
either.
hot take forever.
I think Samurai Champloo is it's probably one
I
of my
agree.
favorites that he's ever done.
I would completely agree with you. I think Champloo is by far his best work.
And
I think Space
this
Dandy
has a
more than I
lot
like
more in
Bebop.
common with Champloo.
It
Because
does.
Yeah.
there's a goal, but there's also just going from place to place, meeting people, doing stuff, very episodic, but there is an ultimate goal. So I think if you want to compare it to any of those, and then there's Tower and Resonance, which is, completely serialized and very serious throughout. And I don't really love the direction that show went. I really don't. But Kids on the Slope is fantastic. So if I see people like, oh, he hasn't made anything good since Samurai Champloo, first I was like, Space Dandy.
Yo.
But even beyond that, like Kids on the Slope, Carol and Tuesday, you can't tell me that those aren't fantastic shows. And this is likewise a fantastic show overall. Has its flaws, as most things do, but it's really solid. And
Speak for yourself, Sketch.
as most things do. I said most, not all.
Carry on.
Yeah, I'll allow it. Yeah, but the thing is, I think Watanabe's at his best when he has the right writing partners. So in the case of Lazarus, say, a lot of people liked episode 4, right? Yeah? It was a really fun episode where they're taking down the tech bros, and it's just a gorgeous looking show, but it's also really lots of fun character moments. Who wrote that? Dai Sato wrote that. Of course it's good. And let's see here. Which was that one? I don't know. I guess I'm not that familiar with many of the other ones, but he also wrote the Death on Two Legs episode, which does introduce the hacker. But my gosh, that opening sequence when we introduce the assassin, it is something. It is memorable. Right down to the whole thing at the steakhouse. It's like, I don't need anything else. This is the exact amount of calories and nutrition. Like, okay.
Directing on that episode was excellent.
It was great. Oh yeah, the animation in the whole show is just eye-poppingly gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Some episodes more so than others, but it was never bad looking. Which is certainly not something we can say about some Toonami original series.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You're way more judgmental than I am about those. I've been very happy with the originals.
I think most of them either look fine or even great. Like, you will never see me say that Fena wasn't gorgeous. Fena was gorgeous.
Fena was very pretty. Yes, absolutely.
And even though I don't love the CGI aesthetic, like Black Lotus looked good for a CGI show.
I mean, I am the resident Housing Complex C defender, so I like some of these originals.
Housing Complex was kind of rough.
I know, but I like the storytelling.
I did. I'm just saying from a visual perspective.
Yeah, no,
It was-
visual, I can get that.
No one's gonna mention Shenmue. I thought that looked really good.
I mean, Shenmue was fantastic, yes.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
source of pain for
Shenmue.
Laser.
I know,
Yeah,
Laser. I do feel bad about that. But like,
Look, I'm a Shenmue fan. I'm used to disappointment.
but it looked good. The anime did look good.
Oh, the anime was fantastic. I enjoyed it.
I don't think it looked that good. It was kind of stiff,
I'm sending you handshakers as we
especially
speak. Sketch.
especially in the action sequences.
The-
Like some of that was.
The action
But we're
sequences
Some of them weren't as
were
good
very,
as others, but I thought they were pretty good most of the time.
the actions and sequences did something that they don't always do, which is they made an effort to imitate real martial arts. They made an effort to really bring in, like, instead of fantasizing it and having like these extra amazing cool moves that wouldn't be plausible, they were
Which
very
is-
plausible.
Which is great because that's what the games did. They motion capture people like actual martial artists and everything. So it was kind of a nice
Yes.
nod and a wink there, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, Because I kept bringing in my partner he has a couple of black belts, and I was watch the scene, watch the scene, watch the scene, and tell me what you think. And it was really interesting to hear feedback about yeah, this is what this is, and this is really good. And I remember kind of talking about that when it aired. So maybe from an anime perspective, because a lot of times the anime can be so over the top, and they have complete freedom of control over how fantastic they want to go. Like Shenmue being so grounded in reality might appear to be um it might appear to fall flat compared to other action sequences, but I think as far as what it's established, which is representing Japanese jiu-jitsu, it did that very well. So I will
Okay, yeah,
defend
that's
that.
that. I could see that angle. Yeah, I just something about it didn't look right to me.
There were certain
it-
scenes, like whenever Donu showed up and he's just like charging at people. Some of that wasn't the best.
Yeah, maybe cleaning up of some of the drawing and CGI or whatever would have been warranted. Sure, I can buy that.
Okay, but yeah, but this show, Lazarus, just
Oh, yeah,
solid
just
production
yes.
all around. Story wise, had its issues, but it had its high points, and I think it's satisfying overall. I don't I don't think I need to say anything else. I've already talked a lot.
No, that was
But
solid.
We have a lot of talkbacks of varying opinions and varying
That's a
thoughts.
good thing.
Some
That is a
various,
good thing.
very thoughtful, I would say.
That means
So
it's got good
rather
reach.
than read them all off myself, we're gonna go back and forth, me and Kuro. So Kuro, how about you read the first one from Mochi Man?
Yes, from Mochiman says the ending nailed how society would be if a world-ending scenario was averted, back to normal, and learned nothing. Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
true. Wait a minute. Oh, that's
Oh,
too
Lord.
meta
True.
for me.
It's a little
Oh,
meta.
Show does not
God.
pull any punches.
No.
I just like the ending of that and learned nothing. It's like, yep, that is exactly.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
really did. They learned absolutely nothing.
See? Thought-provoking.
Mm-hmm.
This show gets very real. But like we said, it's not telling you anything you don't already know. It's just reminding you through the lens of a, pumped up sci-fi thriller. So, all right. So, regular timeline Hank had a few things to say. Lazarus fooled us by not letting us consider the story was more contained and connected than it first appeared. Everything locks into gear during the final explanations. Made the ending kind of cool to me, despite not always enjoying an info dump. But this one was the key. Had some doubt after episode 12, but final twist unlocked the series. This was purposeful, small, and nuanced government case, but told through misdirection via a global lens. Lazarus was more or less insurance. Watanabe had me worried, but the dismount was jazz. Thank you, regular.
So,
Very,
solid, well-rounded review.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
So, from Sugar Boy, in an era where anime is mainstream, abundant and
It's
sometimes
Sugoi.
formulaic. Oh, whoops.
Sugoi boy.
You know what? Now
That
I
is
have
a
to change
great
it.
slip up. Oh my god.
Now I gotta change it. Sugoi boy. In an era where anime is mainstream, abundant, and sometimes formulaic, Lazarus felt great to watch because of not knowing what it is or about or how it's going to be. Just like how anime used to be, and more so with this creator. I remember discovering Outlaw Star, Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, and Wolf's Rain as a kid, and went into watching blindly, experiencing the show. Thanks to Shinichiro Watanabe for making this along with the team, and rest in peace to Keiko Nobumoto for the memories. Her tribute was my favorite part of the ending. I like that this commenter framed it within Watanabe's other works, but didn't actively compare it, and made some similar points to what Stephen had made about you couldn't tell what was happening, couldn't catch the beat on this series. You just had to watch it to figure out where it was going.
Kept you guessing
like
all the
that.
way to the end.
Yeah, I like that.
Cletus T writes in, I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. It was enjoyable, definitely giving me vibes from the 2000s. The music, the voice acting, the animation were great. I'm hoping for a season 2 to explore the world more, see more adventures from the team, and answer a few things that were left unanswered. A solid show. Thumbs up.
So this person isn't crazy since they gave the review score that you said wasn't crazy.
Right at the exact
Right in that
that
exact middle.
7.5.
I want to say for the record, I would give it an 8 out of 10.
That's
I
reasonable
think
too.
that's
I actually think
fair.
it's higher than I would give it, but it's not like outrageously high. I think that's fair.
For
I think-
me, it's within that range of like, this is a series. If it weren't an anime, I would have watched it just as it is, with the premise that however it commercialized itself, the story told was the kind of thing that I'd be interested in no matter what medium it was presented in.
Oh, this would be a
think-
good live action movie.
Yeah, my
Oh
taste
yeah.
of
No, I would.
well, I don't want to do that though, because I hate when that happens. I hate when animated series are adapted to live action, because I feel like
Well, no, I mean, I just
If it had been
You're
made
not-
live action
But like,
instead.
if the story had been told in that medium, I would have enjoyed it that way as well. I think that as I get older, my tastes evolve and mature, and the kind of more cerebral storytelling, more thought-provoking storytelling is a little niche of mine that I crave now, and it fitted in with that. So, that's why 8 out of 10.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's fair. I forget. What do you give Ninja Kamui? Did you give that an 8 too?
I did give it an 8. What are you saying? But that's for a very
Maybe
different
it's a
reason.
7.
No, that was purely because of the visual style and the action. That was what that did for me. Visually,
Fair,
it was
fair.
stunning, and I absolutely loved the filmography of the way they stylized all of the action sequences. The way I mean, it was just fantastic. That's why that one is 8, but for different reasons, completely different reasons. Not for the storytelling, but for the visual.
Sketch. It's like that meme. You show Kuro the two pictures. Tell me the difference of these two things. And Kuro just goes, "It's the same picture."
I
Well,
feel
you
like
know-
I'm getting a bad reputation for loving these shows that no one else loves.
Yeah.
Well, it's just no. I'm more joking just because you gave two shows the same score and Sketch is giving you a
know.
hard time. It's just like
He
the
is.
same picture.
I love that you remembered that, though. I was waiting for someone to remember. I was like, oh, I have a bad reputation with liking these shows that no one else likes the way I do.
No,
Look,
I am
look,
the king of
everyone's
that,
different.
Kuro. You are fine.
There are things that I adore the absolute heck out of that other people don't. It's just how that goes sometimes.
Yeah, different strokes.
I'm the
different
Gundam
folks.
Seed fan, and I'm not afraid to admit it.
I'm a Toonami original apologist.
Well, somebody has to be.
That's honestly a crown that you should wear with pride.
All right.
Because
what's
Lord
the
knows
next
we don't
one?
have enough.
Sketch.
Next one's yours.
Oh, is it? Oh. That Ed Boy says, thought it was great, gave me the vibe of an older school anime, and I liked that.
I'm noticing a
Is that right?
trend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely has nothing to do with the order in which I put these.
I was gonna say, could you mix it up a little bit? All right, back to you, Sketch.
I like a flow to these things. Shadowrunner writes in, I enjoyed it. Felt rushed at times, but overall a solid anime. Characters were likable. Action scenes were insane. Animation was clean and a throwback to the 90s, 2000s anime styling in a lot of ways. Wish there was a season 2 incoming. Yeah, I totally get people feeling like this is that kind of late 90s, early 2000s anime, because it really is. You could have made it back then. It
I
wouldn't,
totally
it
didn't
wouldn't
get that
necessarily
until I saw
have
those
looked
comments.
quite the same. Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm gonna mess up the name again. That's why you're
Uh-oh.
waiting for me. Shawnee writes in, Lazarus brought back a nostalgia anticipation for me that I haven't felt since middle school days in the late 2000s. Music production went insane. A super flashy and climactic ending? Not my perspective, but it gave a good conclusion to a one-season show. A banger in my eyes with 2 very cute emojis.
Mm-hmm. Niji Gasaki Love. See, I give myself the hard ones sometimes. I thought it was amazing and addressed
I'm
everything.
never going to live that down.
I had a few
Sorry.
issues with the vaccine distribution and the Lazarus team somehow being in the Schiphol airport that day, but otherwise, they wrapped up everything well. It's an overhated series.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Ken Pak writes in, dude, absolutely incredible. All the way around, I wish for a continuation. Short, sweet, and to the point.
I love this next person's name. Blastronomer Mick Blaster. I gotta
That
say,
is a
it was
fun
pretty solid. Far better than Adult Swim's previous anime endeavors, even. Though I got to admit, it did kind of feel rushed in certain areas. But all in all, it's a step in the right direction after the car crash that was Uzumaki.
name. Ooh. Ow.
Thanks.
We don't talk about Uzumaki.
No, we try. We try not to. Keeps creeping its way back in.
You
like
cannot
Feta.
escape its spiral.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it keeps creeping back in like handshakers, but that's just me.
You're the only one who brings that up.
It's my show. No, I didn't make it.
Just Phone Jones writes in. I love these names. Best Adult Swim original for sure. I think people had too high expectations because of Bebop and Shampoo comparisons. I did think it could have delved deeper into characters, but what isn't style over substance these days? I'd love a season 2. Oh my gosh, I definitely could have written this myself. That's pretty
Couldn't you?
on the nose about the comparisons and expectations.
Some would say that's her alt account.
Ooh.
It's not. It's not. I don't hate.
Summer
really
writes
don't.
in, I loved it. It was a wild ride. I want to know more about Axel and Doug, so I hope we get a second season.
That's
And
one
is
I could have
that
written.
a dove? Is that a dove referencing all the bird imagery that Watanabe put in this show? He loves birds. He loves those
The
John
cat
Woo
was
birds.
there in the end.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
there in the end.
The cat was there in the end. He's part of the team.
He is.
We never gave him a name.
I thought we did give him a name. I don't remember it, but
Chonky
someone
boy.
gave him.
Chonky boy.
He is Chonky boy. He's pretty fat
Chonkers.
for a stray.
hmm Well fed.
Yeah. Anime Twin Princess writes, loved it. This anime top to bottom was amazing. But I do really hope we might get another season to answer some unanswered questions, like more about Axel's backstory and how he knew about the Hundun, and also just to see more of this badass team saving the world. Heart?
Yeah, why does Axel know about the Hundun and have
That's a
I
good
mean-
that
question.
necklace? Like, what's its connection to his friends? Were they involved in that training program? I guess it doesn't matter, but it's just kind of okay. I still think that Soryu was entirely unnecessary, but the fights were cool. And like, come on, seeing them fight still in the middle of the building falling over. Chisato blew up a tower better, I must. But love me that licorice, give me more licorice.
And we got
Yeah,
those
I could-
OVAs.
I could pass.
Those were fun.
Thanks.
They were very fun,
I need to watch them
Yeah.
still.
and they're dubbed and they're on the
We-
YouTube.
They
if you don't
are.
have Crunchyroll.
There's already too many teenage superhero tropes in anime. Like, let's not. Let's not.
Mm. Unguided writes in, I really enjoyed Lazarus. I felt the beginning was kind of slow and shallow, but then by the middle of the season, we started getting better emotional beats and character dynamics, and I feel like it really started to hit its stride around there. Yeah, I would agree with that. I wouldn't necessarily
feel
call
like-
it shallow, but
I think
it was slow.
Laser could have written one.
I didn't hate
It's
the show. I
Laser's
thought it was
alt.
good. I like the show.
No, he doesn't say. They don't say they hate it. They just said about the slowness of everything. That was your biggest
Yeah,
gripe, I remember.
that is my
Bree.
biggest gripe.
Yeah, I mean,
It was a
that's
common
not an
complaint amongst
unfair.
reviewers.
Yeah, that's not an unfair criticism.
No, it's not.
On a Tangled High writes, I enjoyed it for what it was, a taut, sometimes meandering show about the end of the world and how the world never truly ends. It continues in new forms, new people, new imaginations. Lovely.
Hmm,
That's a good talk back.
it is. Thank you, On a Tangled High. Sire Tardis writes in, I really enjoyed it, to be honest, more than I expected, but it still missed a little something to make it perfect. Other than that, the music, the voice acting, and the animation were amazing. I think that's fair.
Yeah. Victor Monjaras writes in, wish this was longer compared to the other works from Watanabe to continue to build the characters' bonding. But the music and the world traveling really up the ante with Mappa providing their best work. We got a 10 out of 10 landing from an original finally, keeping the faith. Love the positivity. I'm here for it, Victor.
Victor often is positive, and we appreciate that.
I do too. Like that's always I always try to make that my vibe, so I feel like that's something I can vibe with.
It's a good thing to be. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Clearly, you've missed my sunny disposition sketch.
I think no, CJ, you've always been very nuanced about things. Like when
I-
you're
I
a
try
smart
to
ass,
agree.
you have a good reason.
Oh no,
behind it.
I am very tongue in cheek. I don't even want to give myself that
Yeah.
much credit, Kuro. You flatter me way too much on
You
that.
no, you are, but you are, but like it's fun. It's not like mean.
Oh no,
No.
because I
Yeah.
hate bullies. So like I
Yeah.
have a purpose for it, but no, I just
Yeah,
I
Very
I agree.
objective.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it
Agree to disagree.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I
don't
think
get me
more
started on
tongue
Black Clover.
Tongue in
Uh,
cheek. Tongue in cheek is probably closer to.
Oh, Black Clover's coming back.
It's true. How serendipitous is that? CJ's back on the podcast right as more Black Clover gets announced.
Yeah, what'd you
That
think
will-
about that being said as that was all season 1? Like I did not see that coming.
Yeah, that's pretty silly.
All I can say is that my favorite article I ever wrote was my ode to Black Clover, so I hope it comes back soon.
It is.
Which I presume you can still find on TsunamiFaithful.com somewhere.
Somewhere. I mean, my stuff could be lost in the void. I don't know. I've been like hibernating for 4 or 5 years.
He went to college, like Toonami.
I went to college. Thank you.
We check
Plankton.
on you every once in a while. We go in there, poke you with a stick, make sure you're not dead.
Yeah. Moving on. Geekazoid writes in, overall, I really enjoyed Lazarus. Engaging team, great animation, and a unique premise. But I thought the finale was rushed, rife with plot holes, and didn't really address how the antidote was made and distributed so quickly, given the little time left. Still, I'd love
That's
season
a
2.
fair point. I hadn't thought
That's
of that.
a very
actually.
fair point. I mean, we're in the future. Things can go pretty fast, but like a global rollout that fast? Come on, there's too much bureaucracy to allow that to happen.
The drones did it.
I
The
have a very
drones.
on point kind of joke with it, but I don't know if it's appropriate to say, so I don't think I think I might type it in our chat instead.
It's the attack of the drones.
Next talk back.
You know, as far as like that plot hole, it was something that I did notice, like when they were lining up for the vaccines and
Give the
how
kids the
quickly
HAPNA
it-
vaccine.
Yeah, I was thinking like, well, that was fast, but at the same time, it my assumption was just that they had a little bit of life loss. That just there was some. I don't know. I don't know how to say this without sounding crass, but
We don't even know
natural
how
order thing.
long that all took, really. It was just a
Yeah.
montage.
Yeah, there's no sense of time, so Who the heck knows?
Mm-hmm.
The speed of montage.
Yes. Moving on. Lord Terminal says, my only real complaints all go back to the problem that it was 13 episodes in length. We need to stop making new shit in short runtime. It doesn't give the creators the breathing room they need to flesh out the cast and the plot. That has been a lot of our discussion range lately, is about how long these series are. And I've been thinking about from this recording some of the things that Stephen pointed out about that being the trend and trying to meet that requirement. But also, I think that there are budgetary restraints. And if you look at like not just anime, but television in general is shortening how long things are. Like in Britain, they put out series that are between 4 to 6 episodes per season,
Yeah, they've been doing that a
So,
long time.
yeah, but like there does seem to be a lot of that now in American television too. And I think globally the trend
That's
has been,
Netflix's fault.
yeah, they're putting more money into having more fantastic elements and technology and bigger, paying more money for things, so they don't have the budget to make things longer. So it just may be the natural evolution of television that's brought us here.
I could see that. That's definitely been like even the most recent Gundam was 13 episodes, and it also suffered from that.
Yeah, that really needed more. There were a lot of shows you don't necessarily need more than 10 episodes. But that show, there were clearly way more ideas it wanted to cram in, and it just tried to do too much.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, because I think more evenly paced, I think that would have been a lot better. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And this, I think, I don't necessarily want more episodes of this plot line, because I think it just didn't use its time as economically as it should have. I don't think any episode is necessarily completely worthless. Gosh, there was an episode that I think we all were kind of like, this was a pointless episode.
Yeah.
Which one was that? Oh, which one was that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the AI cult.
Oh, Heaven is a Place on... I mean, but that's like Elena's whole backstory.
It is, but it
I
kind
could have
of
Pretty
skipped that episode.
pretty vacant. That was the
Oh,
one where they try to
gosh.
draw Skinner out. That one was pretty bad, and also didn't lead to anything. But it did give them their encounter with Popcorn Lizard, and also the never-ending wonderful joke that SoundCloud is where they put the files. Delta Medicinal, that was the name of them. I couldn't remember it before. How could I forget Delta Medicinal? Because, I mean, everybody jokes about Delta Airlines, right? Come on.
We actually have a comment
Yeah.
in the chat that I thought was interesting, related to this topic, that there's too much to watch, more is being made, and talent is spread thin. And I think that's a nice encapsulation of another aspect of this issue.
yeah.
That
Yeah, I
this
think, Brian, that's
oversaturation.
the great point.
Yeah.
Oh my word,
so-
the anime industry needs to calm down.
It
There's
really
too many
does.
shows.
Yes.
They
Yes,
they
there
just need to
is.
get away from the 100 isekai stuff. If they just get
God,
rid of
yeah.
all the isekais, I mean, you would have like a pretty clean, even front line of everything. Because
I'm not
who
even
needs-
sure
would
that that's the case
probably-
anymore. I mean, it
Steven,
helped,
don't touch
but-
my Ray Zero, please. That's all I ask.
But who
I'm
needs
like
an
thinking like Shield
an
Hero
isekai?
needs to go.
Who
Sorry.
needs a show about a guy who gets turned into a vending machine and goes out
How
on
dare
adventures?
you?
Excuse me?
Do not
That
attack
is
Boxo.
Don't
Wait,
you
the
talk
vending
bad
machine
about
isekai is
vending
This
great.
is
machine
real?
isekai.
Oh, it's
This is
real and it's
real.
glorious.
Why
Oh,
hasn't
that
anyone
one is-
told me about this? I'd watch that.
How
It's
do you not
literally
know
called-
about that, CJ? It's on
I
its
have
second
no idea
season.
what you're. I have no idea that this is a thing. You get
Reincarnated as a
reincarnated.
vending machine, now I must wander the dungeon.
Season
That's
2
awesome.
coming up. Season 2 is right now.
And there
So you
ain't
get,
no
like-
doubt at all that the person who wrote that story is not a vending machine otaku. They know way too much about vending machines.
They absolutely.
Wait a minute. So it's like you can get
Uh,
a soda from this person, like level
Yes!
up.
They use their vending machine powers to like solve problems creatively. It's really good.
And defeat
I can't
monsters.
take this seriously.
I
Like,
I
they-
need
they
to
can
see this.
change
Where
the-
can I watch it? You
Crunchyroll.
sold me.
Where do you think?
It's
Well-
on Crunchyroll.
Sorry, Lazarus. I'm watching vending machines. I'll see you later.
Yeah, look, I was with you on the let's cut down the isekai, but then you had to talk about my boy Boxo.
No. But yeah, there's way too many
Steven, you
isekai
broke
being
There
made.
is.
you broke the podcast.
I
There's too
did.
many- there's
There's
too
one
many
thing.
isekai. There's too many villainesses.
Oh
There's-
god, the villainous thing is getting ridiculous.
It's getting out of hand. It's
I
getting
have
out.
never
Too many
had that much
power
of a
fantasies in
visceral
general.
reaction.
Just,
Oh
You're
my
good
God.
too. Don't worry about it. It was
That
just
can
fun. It was
stop
funny that you went to
just
that.
maybe stop adapting new light novels that are power fantasies or isekai.
Forever.
I think we'd be-
Just
I
never
think
do
we'd-
it again.
I think we'd be good.
Never do it again.
You
Yeah.
could keep adapting ReZero and Mushoku Tensei and the good ones, Konosuba, but just stop digging deeper into the
Like,
barrel.
be a
You're-
little
you're
more
already
discerning at least.
you're already bottom of the barrel stuff. Come on. I do love some, especially Konosuba. That is my
Konosuba is a gift.
and ReZero for very different reasons. I do
For
love
like
me
the
some ReZero.
all the opposite reasons.
There,
One
there
of them
was
is
one-
intellectually stimulating. The other one is just wacky stupid.
Mhm.
There is one, and now I can't actually remember what it's called, but CJ's gonna know as soon as I describe it. It's not technically isekai that because they don't know they are. You only know from the merest hint of something that happens in the
Oh,
first
I
episode.
just was looking at that. That's
But
right.
they're like in this fantasy world, and they have this party, and they're like the worst. They're like the bottom of the barrel party, and they're just barely struggling to survive. And
Sketch.
it's got beautiful watercolor renditions in the background.
You'll remember
really
this
great
show.
music.
We've talked about it because there was so many butt shots of that one chick.
Oh,
Which I
yes.
never noticed until you pointed
Alright,
that
now
out.
I'm trying to figure out what
Yes.
this is.
It was
Oh.
Grimgar of Ash. Grimgar of
Grim,
Ash.
Grimgar of
Yeah.
Ass.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one. It's been on the
Grimgar
back.
It- it is good.
Fantasy. Grimgar
It's
Fantasy
good.
and Ash. I wish they did.
But-
I don't think they ever finished it.
No, they never
No,
did.
They didn't.
Yeah, that I wanted
that
to
one's
know what
really
happened next.
really good because it's not a power fantasy. They really struggle to fight monsters in that, and it is scary, and the
Yeah.
stakes are high.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. They could instead of all the shit they're putting out, you could
The
finish
idea
that.
is not bad. And you know what?
Put
I
that
enjoy
out.
power fantasies too. Like I enjoy solo
I don't.
leveling. It is so much
Soul
fun.
leveling's great.
So much fun. It's stupid, but it's
It is stupid, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
But even that one has like emotional moments and everything. So good storytelling goes a long way.
It really does. It really does.
See,
Well, yeah,
Steven,
I-
you
I
broke
don't-
the podcast.
I
Once
don't
again.
think Lazarus necessarily needed more episodes to tell its story. It just needed to just use those episodes a bit more economically. I think it would have been easier to tell everything that it possibly wanted to do in 24 episodes. Sure. But then it would have felt even slower.
Yeah, that might not have been.
I don't necessarily want that.
It's really tough because we're coming from a generation where we've been accustomed to much
Mhm.
beefier series.
Yeah.
Where the average was about 26. 13 was very short, and
I mean, we didn't even have 52ers
things
sometimes.
fit. But the average being 26 and between 50 or 60 episodes per season. So, moving into this current era of 13 episode or 12 episode seasons, it's an adjustment. So
It
part
is.
of I think sometimes part of that perspective that we have is more about us being used to that model. I mean, there
Mhm.
might
Back in
be
my day,
some.
I had 52 episodes in the Gundam series.
Yeah, it might
Oh
be
man, the
like
50 episode
true in some
Gundams
cases.
are long gone.
Yeah, like there's some that I might say, yeah, this could have used more, one or two more, like Housing Complex C. I think 6 episodes would have been great for that.
I
Yes.
agree.
But
Yes.
but like I've been trying to really think critically about this, about whether this is my own bias or whether I think there's really enough story to lengthen out to a longer series. And I don't know if this one would have been good for a 20 episode or even like a 15 episode. I don't know.
Even if they went more the Champloo route and like really didn't focus on the main problem
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of, had fun episodes, but that wouldn't feel right because the clock's ticking.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of gaps in time, and maybe nothing happened, but like you could have done a day an episode. You really could have.
That's true.
But would they have had enough ideas for that is the question.
I'd be curious what those storyboards looked like. I wonder if there were ideas that production were not able to put into effect. That does beg the question. Maybe there was a story to tell in 20 episodes that they just weren't budgeted to do.
It's entirely possible. I guess we'll just have to wait for the all-tell expose from Watanabe or Jason or
Yeah.
somebody.
Who's up?
We
You or
still
me?
have some talkbacks, so I'm I'm just gonna go ahead and yeah. This is funny because of the formatting in my notes here. This one gets cut off immediately before going on to
I
the
saw
next
that.
thought, and it's
Yeah.
it's almost too good because it looks like the line is I wasn't much of a fan, but there's more after that. So Millennium Exile writes in, I wasn't much of a fan. And that's the whole thing. No. When the first episode aired, I was really hoping for a spiritual successor to Cowboy Bebop, or at least something with some grit and intrigue, but I personally feel the series felt hollow and lacking that it factor. I don't agree with all of that. I
I
think
don't
there's
agree
definitely some
either.
grit and some intrigue. But is it lacking an it factor? Maybe. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure what that it would have been.
Well, we have
Oh,
now
yeah.
a conversation between two of our talkback responders.
Yes.
that-
So playing the part of Josh the Cajun Samurai will be Kuro, and I will be playing the part of a person responding to them, known as Phantom Izuku.
All right. And that's it for Lazarus. My final thoughts? Honestly, I wasn't too impressed. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't that good either. It had some great concepts and good moments, but the execution just didn't feel right. Lazarus didn't feel special. It just felt like another dark and broody show that had just enough of the Watanabe-san magic to keep it interesting. With all due respect, Jason DeMarco, next time, just let Watanabe cook and stay out of the kitchen. He knows what works. I'm giving this one 4 out of 10. I ain't buying this one. Harsh.
Phantom Izuku replies, the best parts of Lazarus are the opening, some parts of the world exploration, and the action scene. However, the show as a whole doesn't work well. This show is enjoyable watching certain moments as clips instead of watching the entire show. I felt like Watanabe wanted an episodic show about world traveling, and DeMarco wanted a show with a serious A-plot. This show was a bad compromise between two parties.
Josh says to them, I think you're on the money with that one. This show feels like it wanted to explore the world and the characters, but of course, we gotta have some kind of crazy story because, quote, ratings. I just wish Toonami would get this, quote, original anime kick for a while and just focus on getting some good shows that are already out there.
So somebody wants it to get off the original anime kick.
I'm really glad he said this because I think it's important we represent the range of opinion. But Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, Sketch, but I don't remember our conversation with Jason implying at all that he had set the expectation for the show to go in this direction. I
No,
specifically
he
remember
didn't.
him saying he let him cook. He didn't have any hands on with the storytelling. He didn't have any input about any of that. All he did was connect artists and creators and bring them together to help make the more fuller experience. So I think it's really interesting that the implication is from not just from this conversation, but just like it's out there. The message is out there on the internet that Jason's somehow responsible for the mood of the show, when the fact is, from the horse's mouth, he absolutely had none of that. It very clearly was Watanabe cooking. This was the message Watanabe wanted to share. Now, I don't know if there are other production elements that had an influence, but what I remember from that conversation was this was his show. This was the show he wanted to show. He wanted to tell this story.
Yes. The only guidelines he was given was, okay, Max would like a serious show, and some kind of some kind of genre element would be good. Kind of leaning towards sci-fi, because that's what Max was looking for to produce at the time, which makes sense because they were doing stuff like making Scavenger's Reign. Where is it? But no, he absolutely did not say no, don't make more Space Dandy. Definitely didn't say that. If anything, you could say he didn't want him to make a comedy, and maybe Watanabe was feeling like making a comedy at the time.
Yeah, but
Maybe.
don't put that out there because we don't actually know. Like, this is all that would be purely speculation, and I'm really uncomfortable with spreading that message.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just gotten into people's heads ever since that incorrectly translated interview with Watanabe, that Jason was telling him to do this or that or the other thing, or not wanting this or that. And no, the only guidelines were a serious story with a genre element, maybe. That's it.
Mhm.
And there were a lot of ideas that Watanabe had. One of them he couldn't do because of some rights issues. And then he decided on this concept of a miracle painkiller that will actually kill people, and how all of that. And Jason said, "Oh, that sounds great. Do that." And
And
he
he had other
did.
ones that we might still see. We don't know there, but that he had some other ideas in the works,
Yeah.
and maybe some of them will be more fun or whatever.
hmm You know, I know hearing it from us, the Toonami Faithful podcast, you're gonna want to take it with a grain of salt, but
You can listen to
no,
the interview yourself.
listen to the interview. And
It came straight
unfortunately,
from the
no
horse's
matter
mouth.
what Jason DeMarco says, people don't believe him.
That's really I mean, that is so frustrating. Like,
Yeah,
when you're
it
telling
is.
someone this isn't how this goes and people not believing you. Like, I can't imagine how, like, what else can you say if your credibility as the person involved doesn't mean anything, then why even ask to hear from them at all? Why even
I've been
pose those
asking that
questions?
for centuries.
Yeah. And I don't think he would have reached out to us to even taken the effort to sit down with us and spend an hour talking to us if he wasn't going to be authentic and have credibility behind what he says. Like, and the fact is, we don't actually have any we've had nothing to indicate to us that this man has ever lied to us. This is all about opinions about his interactions on a very limited platform. There's never been any tangible example that he's deliberately lied to us about the things he said. This is all about our interpretations of things. And so I would challenge listeners to rethink their own biases and what role they're affixing to DeMarco and how Toonami's run and how Toonami's played, because he's first of all, he's outgrown the role that he had, which we established very clearly in our interview. Second of all, this isn't just a one-man show. There's a machine that happens here. There are other elements here. And I think that instead of just looking to throw eggs at the one person who's made an actual effort to communicate with us, maybe we should think more broadly and be a little bit kinder about this.
Yeah, that's true, Kuro. I would add in there, it's the internet. They don't care.
I know. I'm
It's
fighting a
a-
losing battle.
Well, no, you're fighting a war. In the long run, you might lose that battle, but you're going to win the war.
Thank you.
That's what I think. But aside from that, it's the internet. It's what it's going to be. Everyone has your own personal opinions on what it's going to happen. Everyone's going to do what they're going to do. You have because I put the tweets out. Me and Brittany put the tweets out. We put them out there. We read them. We decipher what's ever in there. And then we look at it and everything. But what I do is I look at other stuff about Lazarus or whatever shows on Toonami, and I'll see it on my feed on like other ones saying, "Oh, this just ended. How did it, just how did it go?" or everything like that. And it's like you look at it and they hate it, and they hate it because like about 1 to 3 reasons. The first reason is they hate it because they want to be haters. They just want to do that. It's like that Taylor Swift song, they hate it because they want to do it because that's the passion. That's what they think gets ahead. That's what the algorithm tells them and shows them and everything. You're being manipulated by an algorithm. It really doesn't matter, you know. And so they're going to say that. The secondary side from that is you have reviewers out there not looking to, bomb any type of anime or anything like that, but they're going to put their own spin on it and say, what IGN said, watched the first 5 episodes, and they said it was trash. It wasn't even worth what Watanabe done and everything with, Cowboy Bebop. They're referring to that. They're referring to something like 20 years old. And you're looking at it, while it's rightfully so to do that at times, but you're it's not just you're giving it a shot. They're just stamping it down in the long run, which adds more pressure on to everyone else. The interview was mistranslated or anything else is going on through that. And sure, what I like to think happen with all of this stuff is that Jason said, "Hey, this is what we want." Watanabe looked at it and he's like, "Okay, I can think of something." He goes back and forth, and ideas flow between both of them, and he has this idea. From there, the writers, the process moved along that it changed a little bit throughout the way. It wasn't entirely all Watanabe's. The writer that passed away, their stuff was put in there, and I seen what was it? I seen tweets about that as well, saying, "Oh, you know what? They should have just, they manipulated their story. They took it all, and Jason did it. Don't let him touch another anime again." It's like, no, that's not how any of this stuff works. What the heck is wrong with you on the internet that you're going to just go and do this because you hate to hate people, and it doesn't make sense, and it's never going to make sense. You want that instant reaction to become the next great thing. That 15 minutes of fame that Warhol said is not that. It is 15 seconds of fleeting fame that you're going to get by getting about 1,000 likes on your little tweet, and you're going to think you're very smart in that one post. And guess what? You're never going to have it again. And you're going to always be fighting for that and trying to get those scraps and trying to get every like you can by hating something or by manipulating what the information is out there so it goes your way. You know what? You take it, what you can do, and then you say it. I see it all the time in anime. I see it all the time in the Kamen Rider stuff that I watch, Super Sentai stuff that I watch. It doesn't matter. The stuff that's going to be put out there, yes, it's going to be flawed because humans make things. It is always going to be filled with mistakes. It doesn't matter. You watch the thing for the appreciation of the person who made it, the arc that it was giving you, and then you appreciate it at the end, no matter if you liked it or not. Because guess what? You still watched it, even though you hated it. And guess what?
Yeah.
That counts for the ratings. That counts for the money. That
It
counts for the
does.
advertisers. And guess what? It doesn't even matter. Because guess what? They won.
I love
Your
that
YouTube
little bit of,
dislike is
like-
still engagement.
I feel like some of the stuff that we just now been discussing is something probably CJ can relate to back, in his podcast days of trying to unravel misunderstandings and like present things as they really are. I'm sure you can relate to that
I understand
deeply.
everything.
Unravel, you say? Speaking of controversial anime. Yeah, Tokyo.
we
Listen.
no.
Listen. All right. I liked it for what it was, not what it is.
I liked some of it. But let's not
The
I
get
didn't
music
like
was
any of
fire.
it. I thought it all sucked.
The music was
See,
fire.
there's something I didn't like.
Yeah.
But it wasn't an original Kuro.
She doesn't like everything.
I don't, and this is definitely not at all.
Well, Kuro, you didn't
shade to
really like
Josh.
Fooly Cooly Grunge, did you?
I mean, in general, Fooly Coolies are not my cup of tea. I can appreciate elements of them. I like the last couple iterations, how they played with different style of animation. I'm always a big fan of creativity in animation. So I liked that. And they played out to me. It reminded me of like little vignettes. Like if they had been all together, lumped together and been, like that, like little vignettes of Fooly Coolies, like, yeah, that's kind of fun. That's something I can go for. But I'm not gonna sit here and downright give you an either or. I'm leaning more towards the ambivalent. Like I'm not gonna go and say it was terrible. I'm gonna be like, yeah, it was fine. Yeah. I do want to say, like, with respect to Josh, definitely no shade at all. Like him not liking the series is completely fine. I think that the fact that, like anyone wants to come out and say why they didn't like it, and he broke down the reasons why he didn't like it, and I think that's great. Good for him. And I know he's going to give me crap for this later on the internet, but like I feel like Josh's tastes tend to veer in a different direction than what this series goes. So I wasn't really surprised that this wasn't his cup of tea. I know I'm going to hear about it later. But he prefers like a cozier style of storytelling. He likes like happier things, which is fine. Like I like that too sometimes. I totally get it. So I always appreciate the way Josh is able to like be articulate about why he doesn't like things. He's not like some people where they're just like, this sucks, I hate it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of weeded out the just a few of those that we had. It was overwhelmingly positive talkbacks on this show. Paul pointed it out. He's like, wow, this is a really positive response. It was overall very positive.
Depends on where you look, which is the main reason I'm on the episode.
Yeah, because opinions definitely differ on this show, and that's kind of what makes it interesting, right, CJ?
Absolutely.
Abso-freaking-lutely. I love that. Because to me, otherwise it's just boring. And I don't
Yes.
mean the show itself is boring. I mean the commentary is boring.
Yeah, the discussion is boring.
Right. And like
It was great.
it's-
Everybody says
it's
why
a-
it was great.
It's a little cheap too when you're using topics that are, easy to kind of pick at, to be like, oh, they're doing a commentary on this, they're doing this, they're doing that, all this hoopla and whatnot. But when you get down to it, when you have like varying differences of opinion, it makes for a much more interesting discussion, which
Mhm.
is good. That's a good thing.
Yep.
I never begrudge that. You can look in my face, look me square dead in the eye, my eye, and say, Black Clover trash, and I can give you this. Why? I'd be like, cool. You gave me reasons, as opposed to just saying it's trash. I can't work with that. I
Yeah.
can't do anything with
The
that.
main character screams too much.
And you know what? That's fine, but there are more things that I can counter with that as opposed to just that point. I need more.
Mhm.
More is good. So when you get these difference of opinions, I like that. Which is why I'm even checking this series out in the first place. That's the whole reason why I'm here.
We're gonna have a post talk back from CJ that we're gonna have to read.
The DLC to this episode.
Yeah. The CJ DLC. That's the last of our talkbacks.
Oh,
Yes.
is it? I did
Yeah.
not know. I have no
Yeah.
freaking clue.
So let's really get into this
Fine. All right.
conversation
So
you wanted to
it's
have.
story time with CJ. My favorite time. No profanity this time either. That's the best part. But
Aw.
I knew someone was gonna say I thought it would have been laser. I did not think it would be
Aw.
Kuro. But
Aww.
basically,
Come on,
gather
Steven, say
round.
aw.
Gather round,
Aw.
my children,
Aw.
please. As Dad came
Ooh.
back from the supermarket to get cigarettes and milk, he's finally back. In any case, my big reason of wanting to be on, specifically to talk about Lazarus, because I noticed a huge divide within the show. Not necessarily with its fans, but with the critics. And I found that to be very interesting in the sense that it wasn't necessarily just like ignored. The fact that you would see people lashing out at the critics, and I don't mean that negatively, I just mean giving their opinion as well. So I'm being a bit more harsh in my terminology, but more so of a sense of just letting their opinions be known, feeling as if the critics for this show are being a bit too harsh on it, especially when we mentioned before how people are saying, "Oh, we wanted Bebop. This is nothing like Bebop," but they make it like Bebop. Wait, why did you make it like? You get that same type of push and pull when it comes to Watanabe shows. And I found it very interesting how vehemently some Toonami fans were defending it, the show itself, to the point where I'm like, wow, this is really sparking some discussion. So I even decided to check some of these reviews myself. Are they saying anything that I would deem unfair or something that I would go off as like, oh, wow, really? They're doing a hat or like an axe job with this. And I do find myself wondering if the critics were being a little too harsh. And I say that when seeing a certain article talk about how it was the second worst show of the season. That to me raises alarm bells. Where
Oh,
I'm
that's
wondering,
ridiculous.
It
where
is
I'm
ridiculous.
wondering
Absolutely
if there was a
ridiculous.
personal agenda thrown at that.
Mm.
I follow that type of thing, especially where I work now, because that's been coming up a lot in discussions that have caused controversy in a sense between, where people work and the audience that watches it, reads it, whatever. Where there's this huge discussion talking about wearing your fandom on your sleeve when you're doing shows on it to a national audience. Um, and I'm not going to get too in depth on that just because I don't want to necessarily step on any toes or do anything that could be deemed a little over the line. But that's just been a topic of discussion. And I'm wondering if that's something that has always been in writing and like critical writing when it comes to anime, or if it's also starting to be an issue now, just like it has been with sports. And it's been with sports for a while that people conceive or perceive certain biases and whatnot. You're always going to get that. Like, I understand, and I try to just, not want to push the envelope on that specific discussion. But I do wonder if that was what's going on with the case of Lazarus, which is why I was like, what is going on here? Which is what made me contact Sketch, which made me come on the podcast, which made me want to discuss this type of push and pull battle that happened between Toonami fans. And I want to put this more so on someone like Sketch or people from Toonami Squad or maybe Swimpedia as well. Like I put more emphasis on those types of entities only because they have more at stake for this just as much as the critics and anime writers do for people to read their work, right? I have friends on both sides of this. In fact, the person who wrote that is someone who's been on this specific podcast even. So they're not like a bad person whatsoever, or any type of like someone I wouldn't, want to talk with or anything along those lines. I just wonder if we're now getting into the same type of discussion that I'm now seeing evolve even more so in sports into anime. And it might be just as simple as, oh, something very popular of a discourse happening. Now it's going to be coming, into more niche type of genres and areas, which I can easily see happening. The trickle down effect. Like you see things that affect national news and then affect, it trickles down. It's not immediate, but it starts, sprinkling in every now and then. And I'm wondering if that's the case, because when you compare Lazarus to Darling in the Franxx, you have my attention now, because that's a polarizing
What
show
a
in and of it
weird,
itself.
what a weird, wow.
Look,
No.
look, I
No.
mostly enjoy Darling in the Franxx, but that show is a hot mess. This is not a hot mess.
Right, and that's why I'm mentioning or wanted to talk about it. If just because you're getting such vast responses, right? You're gonna get the harsh type of quote unquote critical acclaim for Lazarus, while you have these staunch defenders of the wall. And not to say that there's super fans that they're blind, as you've heard from Sketch, Kuro, Laser, Steven. They have their nuanced opinions about the show. Overall, they would say that they like it. If you had to put me to give an answer for it, so far I have enjoyed it. Am I going to enjoy it all the way through? I don't know yet. I will find out. To be continued for part 2, as Kuro said. If you subscribe to the Tanami Faithful.
DLC.
Like and
but-
subscribe.
But I think the biggest thing that I hope that at least the people who would be listening to this podcast take it, don't get so bent out of shape of what the critics say with it. You're allowed to defend it, because I think that is important, especially if you are passionate about this show specifically, Toonami specifically, whatever the case may be. I would do it in more constructive ways, like writing some stuff, doing video essays, analyzing kind of things, to where then all of a sudden you're able to push back towards something that you don't like in a more constructive and more, I guess, analytical type of way that would garner more attraction. Like, I'm the biggest Black Clover stan you can find, right? I love the show. In fact, I found a new coworker who is just as obsessed with the show as I am, and so I'm very happy to be able to talk all things Black Clover with them. We even got into about how depiction of the socioeconomic landscape of Black Clover. You don't get those kind of conversations ever. I love it, right? And so I like to be able to kind of describe why I like it, and write about it, talk about it, do analysis of it. To me, I really, really enjoy it. And I think just doing that, you're able to get a lot more out of, or more bang for your buck, than say just rallying and going really like off on people. Because like I say, everyone can have their own difference of opinion. I may not agree with it, but that's why it's an opinion. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I like the fact that you're getting such vehement reactions from both critics and fans, because one thing that did stick out for me when reading this piece was the fact they're like, oh, hopefully in a couple of years people will forget that anime ever existed. Oh no, my friend, you started something that's now going to probably keep Lazarus in Toonami fans' mind a lot, because of the negativity. Some that might say is unwarranted. So because you're doing that, because I'm even going to say a call to arms in a sense of, do your video essays, write about it, continue to talk about it, continue to, be critical and exclaim, to say whether you like, dislike it, just keep talking about it. Because to me, divisive doesn't mean bad. And it's something that I've preached so much during my time at Faithful. Divisive doesn't mean bad.
You
It
know what's
means it-
divisive? Made in Abyss.
that
Yes.
can be, yes. So it's one of those kind of things where I hope that Toonami fans specifically can look at this and say, okay, this made me mad. Let me write it down. Let me give them a counterpoint for it. And maybe no one, right? But maybe one person, maybe two people. Maybe it goes on and on. Same with video, right? It's one of those kind of things where to me, if the show is as divisive or as forgettable as some people might claim, then maybe it's time to prove it wrong, right? That's why I'm always a fan of that. And the fact that I was seeing this very like defined line between the critical side of it, critic side of it and fan side of it, I was like, oh, we have something here then. To me, that's actually worth talking about. That's worth me coming out of my hobbit hole to discuss things with people that I haven't really heard from that often, right?
Great to hear from you, Bilbo. Great to hear from
You know what? I had my second supper and it tasted so good. And I'm in a good mood, a ton of energy. But it's
Does that
one of
make
those
me
kind of
Gandalf? Am I Gandalf?
yes, you are. You shall not pass.
Yeah!
He arrives precisely when he means to.
Yeah, and so I wanted to be able to tell fans like, please don't take divisive as bad. Take it as like a challenge. Take it as like, oh, we were able to get a reaction, which is something I feel like that's been lacking with Toonami shows for quite some time, unless it's just everyone universally saying, oh, brother, this guy stinks.
We're talking about
So
Promise Neverland Season 2, which does not exist.
We are talking about Promise Neverland, Housing Complex C, Uzumaki, you name it.
Oh, we're definitely
I
talking
think-
about Uzumaki.
It's one of those kind of things
Oh,
where I've
man.
been seeing more so just the universal like this stinks, as opposed to now we're finally getting that boxing match that I think is good. And I think because it's been more so the fact that everyone's been in agreement with one another, that Toonami fans might be taken a little aback of like, oh, wait, no, we don't agree with this. Wait a minute. And now they're kind of not lashing out more because this isn't as bad as people make it out to be. And so I just think it's a very interesting type of discussion of like reminding folks, yeah, divisive isn't bad, especially if you can give good merits, objectively, which I've been hearing nothing but objective on this episode. So, like I say, it's one of those kind of things. But like comparing it to like Darling in the Franxx, saying it's the second worst of the season, I was like, really?
It's not
I'm
even the
gonna-
same genre.
I'm gonna push back on that a little bit. I don't think they were comparing it so much because of genre wise. I think just of like suckage. I guess I don't.
Darling
I
in Franxx has,
kind of was taken aback when I saw Darling. I was
some
like, I haven't
issues.
heard that in
Can
so
I
long.
can I say something that it's so interesting you brought this up because I personally whenever I want to read a book, I don't go to the book reviews that are published by critics. I always read the user reviews because the user reviews are going to be more wide ranging and more split based off of a range of opinions that I can gauge from that. A critic, it's a very specific job with a very specific bias. Not always intentionally, but when someone is on pseudo professionally reviewing something like this, they're going to have had a background in what brought them to this moment, the kinds of things that they like versus they don't like, versus like a series of reviews from various users or readers or viewers, etc., which will encompass a series of experiences and give someone a range. So it gives strength to your theory about that uh, um, diversity, within people's experiences. In this case, with these anime shows, but I find it very curious that someone would have a strong reaction. And my first reaction to that was, that's insane. There is so much garbage out there, and like and no disrespect to ANN, but they will chronically soft pedal when things are bad. And we have heard we've heard from someone who has worked with them that this is something they have to do, that they can't go and just trash it because they don't like it. They do purposefully soft pedal some of their reviews, but like they'll really come in soft and stuff that I've watched and I'm like, how did you finish this? This was terrible. And I'm not telling you this because it's my opinion. I'm telling you this because it's fact. It was really bad. Like, for example, I'll give you one example immediately. Lord Marksman and Vanitas. It's terrible storyline. Like,
Oh
ridiculous,
God, I tried to
trashy,
watch that one.
trashy fantasy, trashy fan service, and they gave it a B+.
What if I
And
told you I have that anime?
I believe it. It's
Yes,
but
my work
like,
here is done.
but it's not good. I mean, I could go and list the reasons, of course, if this isn't about that. So then to hear someone have such a hardcore opinion about Lazarus, which is really thoughtful and nuanced, and there's a lot of effort put into the composition of it, it really surprises me. And the only thing I can come up with as a response to that is like, I feel like this is a matter of the expectations not being met. People, when they sit on the nostalgia of something that they loved or creator they loved or something, they will set their expectations as high at that moment in time, the way they felt at that moment in time. And if that is not met, then their reaction is always going to be extreme. Like Uzumaki, for example, is not terrible, but because you went from such a high to an average, the average looks so low, and so people are now just completely trashing it. They're having an extreme reaction. So I get the sense that like sometimes when people have those kinds of hardcore reviews, it's a matter of like they've set their expectations to a level, and for them individually it wasn't met for some reason or another. That's all I have to say about that.
I'm gonna ask later why that show's bad. It was goated. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come on. You're messing with me
Oh,
now.
God,
CJ, I feel like that was another one you got as a review copy.
Nope, I bought that.
Oh.
I tried to watch that when
Tell
I was
me
trying
you
to
think
find
I
shows on
couldn't finish it.
Crunchyroll.
I couldn't
I
finish
didn't
it.
either.
Technically, no, I didn't actually.
I couldn't finish it.
It's a funny story with
that.
that one,
Funny story. It's not a.
pretty much. But no, it's just to me, like again, Kuro's absolutely right. She nails it. And all I can say is the fact where it's like, I'm just glad that Toonami was able to create something that was able to get a response even in general. Because to me, I do feel like a lot of Toonami fans kind of look at themselves still as like, the redheaded stepchild for anime stuff.
Yeah.
And they want to be able to, have the same type of seat at the table that's given to like other anime that's on, like Crunchyroll, Prime, wherever, Netflix, Hulu, whatever. From from Anime News Network,
And
or
we were
any
all
type of
scratching our heads when Ninja Kamui won Best Original Anime at the Crunchyroll Awards.
I was like the biggest middle finger to
Yeah.
Crunchyroll. It gave me so much satisfaction.
right, and so it's one of those kind of things where I think that fans kind of want to be taken a bit more seriously in that sense, and I
Mhm.
think that's why it created more of a outcry that even came across my feed that I normally wouldn't see at all.
I don't know. There's obviously these particular reviewers and some reaction to them. Certainly some commentaries like, oh, this reviewer is no. In general, I haven't seen that many like straight up fisticuffs in comment sections between people with either being very defensive of this show or very dismissive of this show. I haven't really seen that.
Well, I've seen enough to make me want to be on the episode. I can only
Where are
talk
you
about
seeing
that.
it?
Don't tell me. I
it
don't
would-
want to see it.
just on X
We don't call it
or
that here.
Twitter
Yeah,
whatever
that's
you
what we
want to
call
call it. Yeah.
No, I have to agree, CJ. I seen it as well.
I was about Steven definitely sees it more than I do.
I guess
Yeah.
I've just been
on
living
Twitter.
blissfully unaware.
So have I.
No, it's there. I would say it's definitely when you have higher volumes of people on there that are reacting to something or what they said. It's there. I would say it's not as bad as a problem now. You're not to that point yet. It is getting to a point where, so I come from the video game review world. I did stuff before that stuff. And I wrote reviews on there. I seen stuff on the video game side that was getting to this point a long time ago. It hit that point where then at that point they don't trust the reviews. IGN's biased. They give everything.
I haven't trusted IGN for game reviews in like 20 years.
See, there you go. I know the people that are personally there. I knew the ones who came up with, we started on the IGN blogs and then they became writers. I knew those people, and it's like it's like you see them and you watch them grow and evolve into this person, and it's like, oh, they're biased. Oh, it doesn't matter what they say. They're always gonna. They've been paid off. The check's cleared. It's in the mail. And so
That sucks.
7, they got a check. It's there, and I wouldn't say I'm not going to say that any of that stuff doesn't happen with anime, because I assume it does. With gaming, with other types of journalistic integrity, journalistic things like reviews and everything else, there is a kind of not a quid pro quo thing, because you have to leave that at the door. You cannot do that. That goes against journalistic ethics. But there is something in the video game world. You have packages that they send out, review packages and everything else. Oh, hey, thank you for sending this stuff to us. You gave us a review and everything. And it's like, oh, you know what? Did they just send it because you gave that show a 10? They gave a 10, or something else. It's like,
Let's
oh,
go,
they're
the
giving.
kickback.
There's something there. It's the same. Anime does it. All journalistic PR people do that stuff. That's the relationship that it is there. You
Reviews
write
are
about
bought.
a game. Yeah, you write about a game. You have that embargo. You're not supposed to talk about it. And then you go on from there. It's like this weird open secret that you're not supposed to talk about it. Everyone knows it until the embargo's up. And with anime, I assume it's the same thing. I don't come from that world, so I don't know that. But
We do that here.
Yeah.
We get previews and we don't talk about them until we are able to.
Okay.
Mhm.
See, so I know the people here, and I know the people in the video game world. There are people out there who don't do that stuff, like you guys here. You don't do that. You don't take the quote unquote bribe and everything else. But the other side of that
bribe.
is, yeah, the other
What
side
bribe?
of it. Yeah,
What
I
bribe?
do for
Like,
a t-shirt,
seriously.
but they won't give
They
me
won't
one,
even
so I
give
gotta
us
be
a
honest.
T-shirt.
I'm still waiting for Paul
I
to
still
give us
want
the One
that
Piece
Tom
mug.
action figure. God
Yeah,
darn it.
Paul, where's my mug?
Where's
Yeah,
my
the One
mug?
Piece mugs.
He's gonna hate me bringing that up every episode.
Oh, I know.
You guys get T-shirts?
No.
We wish.
No, CJ, remember, one time at MomoCon, he did give us T-shirts.
Oh yeah, I got to wear that before it was even out. I was the chosen one.
But
So
they didn't give us the Tom figures.
Well,
That's your
Alas.
One Piece mug. It's the top figure.
Oh, I wanted that Tom figure.
Yeah,
so
because I already
bad.
have the One Piece mug. I bought it with my own.
I did the same.
It's a nice mug.
It is a nice
Well,
mug.
it's a point of pride. One of you's gonna have to get it for me because I refuse to buy it now.
Do they even still sell them? Is the question.
I don't know.
Well, right stuff's gone, so I don't want to talk
well,
about that. That just makes me sad. Back to Steven.
Ugh.
I just wanted to say it's there, everything what CJ's saying, that argument that these reviews could be biased a one way or another. I would like to personally, I would like to believe it's that thing of like, oh, an American side can't make anime as well as the Japanese side, so there's some
That's
type of thing.
definitely
I
a
would
bias.
Yeah, I
Not
would
true.
think that is more of the bias right there. Oh, they can't do it. The Anime News Network review mentions that the what was it? They mentioned that about, what was it? Hold on, I wrote it down. They mentioned about how David Ayer's 2016 mangling of the Suicide Squad probably does a better job of. I mean, I guess even that low. I guess even that box office flop is the high bar now. I mean, what are you going to do with it?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the
Exactly.
sleepy lo-fi beats, make the listless plot even feels more limp. I mean, well, time to crank that volume and pray for a resurrection, because, Lazarus is going to try to do that. I mean, is there a bias? Yes, everyone has this inherent natural bias that's going to happen. Stuff is going to happen. You're going to bring up something and there's a bias from whatever you see. Even when you're writing, even whatever you do, you're going to have that inherent bias. Even if you train yourself not to have it, it's always going to be in you. The problem is when you have not even bribes, money, or any of that stuff, you want to write something that will get more clicks. Then personally, that's what it is. You want to write something and you're trying to agree with it. When I wrote video game stuff, when I wrote reviews for video games, I looked afterwards, after I wrote it, I looked at every single other review for that video game out there. And I'm like, did I hit that? Did I personally hit that mark of, is it all like 7s or 8s or something like that? And I'm like, I hit it, and I was like, it was like a 7, I think. And I'm like, okay, I did well, I did good. I thought that to myself. I was proud of that, and I then, after doing reviews for a bit, I thought to myself, why would I do that? Why would I compare myself to others? It's like that episode in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I'll go back on my tangent in a bit, but that episode in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX where Jaden has to go against the guy who says he's the king of games, who says he's Yugi and uses Yugi's deck, and it's like he stole it, and he goes, he's the king of game. He has everything. He has all of Yugi's cards, and Jaden has to beat this guy. And it's like at the end of it, he beats him because it's like that's not who you are. That's not what you are. You're using someone else's idea. You're using someone else's biases. You're using the things that built up inside of you. And that's not you. You have to find out who you are. And so what the reviews would be doing, and personally what I think, is they're writing for clicks. And then the editors go through it. They edit. They said, okay, yeah, this would be going up here. Is it really like that? And they're like, yeah, it's not good. It's not this and everything. And it's like, no, I don't truly believe they think that. I think they're right most of it in there. Yeah, there might be some things that they're right and they're wrong about, because some of the reviews in that, yeah, there are some things, there's flaws in that anime, but within that is they want to have sentences and pull out little quotes to be posted on the social media. It's like, oh yeah, he got another one, another nail in that coffin. Yeah, bring it down. It's like, no.
It definitely is fun to write a bad review about something, but it's just so wild to me when, like, I've seen on the same place, the same site, I've seen them give like very light reviews to things that are awful, really awful. And it's like, okay, come on. Now, this isn't just me being like a bias about my opinion. This is like, I am very generous with things. I think a lot of people in this podcast can agree. I tend to be very generous and optimistic about shows. But if I'm telling you this is bad, then like, come on. Come on. Where is the underlying bias here? And it's a little bit frustrating to me, that someone, because then you do have to question their motives. Like, you do think they're doing this for clicks. But in my generous side, I'm gonna say, it can be a very clear failed expectation scenario where this person had an idea of what they wanted the show to be, what they thought the show was going to be, and it didn't meet it. So they're angry at that and responding to that. Because if you're not going to it with an open mind and letting the show take you where it goes instead where you wanted it to go, then you're gonna have that reaction naturally. It's unfortunate.
It
The
is,
most-
but again, I just look at it where the fact, again, it sparked this kind of conversation with all of us, and obviously online as well. I look at it as more of a positive. Despite I may disagree, I still think it's good because it gives us meat on that bone, allows us to talk about
Yeah, it gives
these
us
kind of
something
things.
to talk about, which is
Gets the
great.
people going.
I mean, the most common thing I see anywhere on the internet when it comes to Tsunami Originals is, oh, somebody stopped DeMarco from making more. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't feel the need to defend Jason DeMarco, but like it's way over the top, the vitriol people have for this man for just being involved with making shows that ultimately may not turn out fantastic. Like, Jeez. He's trying his best. And maybe that's not good enough. But, like, he's not setting out to make crap. That's never his intention. So, but at the same time, like, I personally, when I review a Toonami original, you can see it in my Ninja Kamui review. You can see it in my Rick and Morty the anime review. You can see it in pretty much all of my reviews except for Uzumaki, which still kind of feels wrong because I only reviewed the first episode. I am, if anything, overly critical. Like, I don't give them an easy pass on anything. If I see something that's like, I don't know, or even if it's really good and I'm liking it so far, I'm like, okay, but in the past things were going well and then they stopped going well. So
You know what? I said this before. We set the bar so much higher for Toonami shows than we do for other anime. For other
yeah, so
programs.
nobody
Oh,
should
yeah.
ever say we aren't critical of Toonami originals. Far from it. We are very critical of Toonami original series. Maybe too much so, but
We have gone on rants on some of these originals.
yeah. And we really like it when we can ramble about a Toonami original, and it's not just because, oh, this part of the production is absolutely falling apart. No, it's because it's interesting or it's divisive. If it's, if people have a lot of opinions about it. We love that conversation, and that's why we have gone on talking about this so long right now. Maybe too long. But yeah, I think overall it's a good thing. Like, the worst thing about a lot of modern anime is there's nothing to say about them. They just exist.
It's fine.
Didn't like Kuro
Fine.
or Steven say it all like no substance and anything?
Yeah. Well, one of our talkbacks was talking about how everything is more style than substance, which is not necessarily true, but yeah.
Some can be. I mean, I'm not specifically naming any show here, but I can think of like times where I felt that way, where it's been flashy or they've really hammed up the emotional aspect, just to have that specific response, but it doesn't contribute anything to the plot. So like you can go either way with that direction. Um trying to create an anime just based off of an audience response, and instead of like focusing on what a creator might want to tell, I think that can be detrimental. I think you want to tell your story, you should be allowed to tell your story, unless the story is Fena, and then you need to go back to the drawing board and fix that story.
Oh, Fena, you could have been so good.
It had such a great start. It really did.
I don't. Yeah.
Fun characters, beautiful
just
show,
Stop
wonderful
watching
soundtrack.
at episode 10. Don't finish it.
Yeah.
I think it's before that even.
Yeah.
Before they get to the island, just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah, I admittedly
Just
try to be positive.
Stop
towards-
before the backstory episode with the antagonist.
Come on.
Stop
Oh,
before that.
God.
Nope. It's
I
weird.
try to be positive,
make
but
any sense.
I'm always going to be real about what I see. If I see what I see, I see what I see.
Yeah.
No, I think no, Laser. I always like your input on this podcast, because like when you like something, you say what you like about it, you're enthusiastic about it, and you're real about why you like those things. Like your reason for loving Dragon Ball is heavily based off of your years of watching it, and you're very open about that, and you have a great love for the series, for example.
Oh yeah, for
So-
Dragon Ball, it's all for me. It's all
Yeah.
about the characters, the character writing.
Yeah, exactly. You've grown up with these characters. They're ingrained in, your experience, and that's important to you. And I like everybody brings, and I'm just using that as an example. We all bring something unique to that in a level of objectivity, as well as a little bias. But I don't think
Yeah.
our biases
Oh,
inhibit
sure. We
our
all have different-
discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different
None of
angles
us
we come at
completely
from.
agree on these, and I think that's
No,
No,
but it
but
makes
that's
for rich
fine.
discussion. Yeah, makes for rich discussion, and our our perspectives lead to that, or else we wouldn't even have this podcast, you know? And then there's
Mhm.
Paul with his very odd theories.
He can't even
I
defend
hate-
himself.
Sometimes they
He's
pan
not
out.
even here. Classic.
Yeah. Him knowing
I
that
can
Skinner
hear him
was in the
screaming.
home list. Yeah.
He's screaming
girl.
from behind the podcast screen.
No, I was
Yeah,
kicking
I
myself.
felt kind of bad because he was like, "Oh, look at all these great talkbacks. We'll be talking about this later this week." I'm like, Paul, scheduling conflict. You're not gonna be on.
Wait till he
Well, I-
finds out who his guest on this episode. He's gonna be
Oh.
pissed.
He knows.
Sorry,
He
he
knows.
Oh.
wasn't. I'm sorry he wasn't here for all of this too.
I do wish he could have joined us, but
You know what's funny? I didn't even know who was gonna be on this episode until what was it, yesterday?
Ooh.
earlier today.
Earlier today.
So
I
you're
go
just
to
like, by
sketch.
the way, who's gonna be on this? Is it just you and me? I was like, oh no, we got 3 other people.
I just thought Sketch was gonna be like whining and dining me. I was like, he hasn't told me who's gonna be on this, so I guess it's just us. Ooh, a date with Sketch. How luxurious.
It could have been.
I didn't say no, now did I?
You didn't. You sure didn't.
Nope. But no, like I said, I like these kind of conversations because there was an emotional from like both. And I think it's fun. I think Toonami fans kind of don't remember what that's like nowadays because, again, when have we had these kind of discussions? Kill la Kill, Akami got killed, Iron Blooded Orphans. You know, like these are like we're getting close to what, 10 years ago?
Oh, I think I know the reason. It's because they just keep on picking up the the bread and butter shonen, which are fun. But unless it's something like, okay, I'm gonna say it, unless it's something like Shihime, not really divisive opinion. It's just kind of like either you like it or you.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my biggest complaint.
It's not
before,
the best, but I liked it.
Before we
Sorry.
lost Crunchyroll, as it were, my biggest complaint was we just have all the big simuldubs, and I've already watched them.
Yeah. Kind of hard to come up with much to say when it's or to have very varying opinions. But I mean, we don't all love Naruto. We don't all love Bleach. We don't all love Dragon Ball. So even then,
Mhm.
All right,
there-
them's fighting words there, Sketch.
There's a difference between this isn't my cup of tea to
Mhm.
this is bad. Like
Yes.
the
Yeah.
show I
Yes.
mentioned before, that's like Marksman and Vandus, like that's bad. It's bad. Kill la Kill, not my cup of tea. It's just not for me. I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
bad. It's just wasn't my style. I didn't really enjoy watching it, but I know that a lot of people like it, so you know.
And that would be me talking about
fine.
Cowboy Bebop. It's not my cup of tea, but I respect it. It's a venerable classic for a reason, even if I don't personally like it.
Exactly. Yeah.
and Gurren
Yeah.
Lagann is one of my favorite animes of all time. But even I'm like, you know what? If you don't like that ending, I understand.
I like most of that ending. Most
And
of
my
it.
favorite
Minus
anime
one
is
thing.
Tattoo Taboo, and if you don't like it,
Oh
And-
no! That show's even worse than Handshakers.
No, it is
Oh,
not. You take that back.
no.
Do not take my crown away from my beloved.
I never know
Oof.
anymore because CJ's so tongue in cheek all the time. Like,
Okay,
I
it's
don't
at,
know.
like-
it's at least
I
less
like crap.
interesting than Handshakers.
I don't know. Actually, I'll have to rewatch both. You know what?
It's
I'll
also
rewatch
less
both.
controversial.
I'll rewatch both.
Most
You know
people
what?
just see Taboo Tattoo as just trash. It's just-
I
it's
don't
just-
even know if I can say what my favorite is anymore because my tastes are constantly evolving, and the things that
I
would
would have
watch
to
now
like pick
aren't what I
5.
watch.
'Cause I don't know if I could pick one.
But like,
It's
like I
One
can
Piece for
say-
me. Are you surprised?
Like,
It's
I
never
will
gonna
always-
change.
Yeah, I'll always.
It's
let
just
the-
a
Well, but
moving
I could say-
target.
I mean, I could say One Piece, but I could also say Dragon Ball. I could also say Gurren Lagann. I could go on for days.
See, Gurren Lagann just didn't do it for me. I enjoyed watching it, but I'm not a diehard fan like some people are.
Oh no, and I get
remember
that. And
The fan service
Gurren-
drove me nuts. It drove me crazy. When I
Gurren
watched
did
it,
something
it ruined
for
it
me psychologically. It was kind of a therapy, and it
Yeah.
really helped me. So that's why it means so much to me. Like it
That's
changed
how
the
I
way
feel
I
about
look at the world.
Shippuden. I feel that way about Shippuden. I feel like Shippuden did a lot of things for me personally, and it's been a journey that I've been able to go on across years, and it's been a great escape for me too. It's been a place that I could go to safely and go on this emotional journey with these characters and have my feelings about them and be all in that. And
Yeah,
like,
I can get that.
like there's some
Whereas,
things that have changed and some things that stay the same.
whereas I like Naruto. I enjoy Naruto, but it's not my favorite thing. But it's fun. It's fine.
It's definitely
I'm just trying to
normalized
think of more
edge.
trash.
I have a list.
Well, if we're
I have a
listening,
list.
if you want some trash, I could tell you my least favorite anime, but we'd be here all night.
There's
Uh,
Testament Sister New Devil, which is awful, but
Oh,
I watched
God.
it.
I would have to throw Tar's counterattack under the bus. That's what I'd have to do.
Oh my goodness. System. Oh, that show.
Yeah.
There's, like I say, I just like bad shows because it makes me feel better about myself.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the
Well,
discussion sketch. I
3
hope you
episodes.
got your money's worth.
I think I did. I think I got more than my money's worth from this discussion. Yeah. That being
hope you're
said,
buying in bulk.
we've gone on so long, but I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention some pretty darn big news that occurred since last we recorded. And that is, we were right. Dragon Ball Daima being doubled up was just a placeholder. And whose place was it holding? Don, baby!
Dun, 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 dun.
Nobody saw that coming.
I
Nobody.
did not see. This was not on my bingo card.
Nope.
But this is
Not on mine.
fantastic news. One of my favorite shows from last year. Very excited for
remember.
season 2.
I remember you really loved that show. Now
I did.
Now I don't have
I-
to. I'm gonna watch it now.
Don did. I did an episode on my podcast and everything. Like, yeah, no, Don is absolutely A tier. Great madcap insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just immaculate animation from
And
Science
I will
Soul.
actually watch it again on Toonami because I can. Well, I mean, I'll probably watch it alongside Toonami, but still.
Mhm. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time to discuss. That show is wild.
Oh God. Yes, that show is.
And it is a bit divisive about certain things.
Yes, it is.
Aliens and ghosts.
Oh, well,
Bad
yes.
guys doing very bad things.
Yeah. Please don't judge it too harshly by things that
Is
occur
there
in the first
tentacle
episode.
stuff? I can't
No,
do it
no,
anymore.
No,
Okay.
no.
Not tentacles.
No.
Oh.
So we are getting Bible Black on Toonami.
Hey!
Oh God, I wish I didn't get that reference.
Hey, I was working with a guy trying to come up with a list of 100 essential anime, and he was squeamish about putting Bible back on the list. And I was like, "Wait, that's like literally the only hentai you have on." I guess it is the hentai, but still, it just kind of feels out of place to include just one real hentai.
Why does that have to be an essential? That's like a personal thing, like deeply, deeply personal.
It's a choice, one that we have to bear, Kuro.
It's
all of us.
It's all about. It's all about cataloging the anime that really made an impact on the anime fandom in the U.S.
Oh yeah, if
I'm
that's the
sorry,
case, you
but I'm-
probably do have to include.
You're making
Uh,
me just have this cringy reaction, and I can't. We need to move on from that.
Yes, let's do that.
What you do?
Yeah,
in your
there you
own
go.
room is
I'm
your
sorry,
business.
just all that talk of Bible Black. I feel compelled to bring this up.
Well, I mean, all I can say is like, there you go. You got yourself a headline. Don equals Bible Black.
No.
Not at all.
You're
no.
gonna get us in trouble.
No. Stop.
Yeah, you guys in
What are you
trouble.
doing?
I
I'm turning
get to
into
le-
Christopher Walken.
You
I
get
get
to
to
mic drop and walk away.
I get to leave. Like,
I'm about
I don't have to.
walk away. Watch me walk in.
I'm walking here.
Oh my
walking here. I'm cousin Nikki. I'm walking here.
That's not a bad Christopher Walken. That's pretty solid. I'm gonna need to hear that again sometime.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's fun.
The shenanigans we get up to in this podcast.
I need
This is
more
delightful.
cowbell.
Yeah.
Off the rails here now, but yes, it's exciting. Dawn to Dawn's coming to Toonami. Again, how did we go from 6 months of squalor to fully stacked?
This is an
I don't know.
incredible lineup.
I'm still wondering how the block is still alive. That's what I was been told this whole time.
I mean, yeah.
Toonami's gonna die!
You just can't kill it. You know?
Well, I just find it funny because, like,
it
I
comes
even walked.
back like Lazarus.
I died, and guess what? It's still going. I was told in 2017, 2016. It's not sustainable. It can't do it. Just like, okay. Hey, at least again we got those divisive shows to be able to keep us talking. I love it.
I mean, we had a really slow beginning of the year, CJ. Like it was not great. It wasn't a
True.
great time.
But it was
Yeah,
still
true.
We got
there.
here. Yeah, we got here. So
The past couple of, I mean, pretty much every year since COVID has been off and on. It's not very consistent, but you know, they're looking pretty good right now. Hopefully it lasts.
I'm just glad you guys are happy. That's what matters the most. The fans.
Well,
you
we
know,
wouldn't
as
have made
Kuro's,
500 episodes otherwise.
it's as Kuro said, the user reviews are where you go.
I like being quotable occasionally.
And you know what, CJ, you're a big part of why we made it to 500. I want to give you a shout out for that.
Yeah, no, like I know this is kind of like the swan song to an extent. Not that I wouldn't be opposed of joining every now and maybe even Black
Anytime.
Clover stuff.
Anytime.
But I definitely felt like I needed to do it for a little bit. And I've been in like I'm drained because of work, but I felt compelled. I felt compelled to, you know, go back to my roots, I guess, more than anything else. So it was needed. I think it was needed, and it solely was needed for myself. But you know, if other people needed it, that's good too. You know, but yeah, no, I started episode 217ish.
I don't remember.
Yeah, no, it was quite a long time.
I couldn't even tell you what episode I started on.
I just remember I started on an Akami Got Killed recap episode with Sketch and Darrell.
Uh,
That was when I started listening around that time.
we had a lot of fun with the Akami Ga Kill recaps.
I did.
I had a lot of fun picking I was using different images for every episode back then. I don't
That was
do
a good
that
time.
anymore. It's too much work.
Yeah, I know, but no, it was good to be back. It was needed. I wish it could have been on a more grander scale for with everybody, but it was good. I'm glad. I'm in a much better place with my fandom. I can say that because I don't have to deal with these little kids anymore.
Yeah, just like Jason DeMarco, spend a little time away from social media.
Well, it's not even social media. I don't have to deal with a lot of the crazy fans. I can deal with you guys because you guys are my homies, but
Yeah.
I can kind of just
Word.
Homie.
all the other whether they be a troll account or just a little over enthusiastic or fans that just don't listen. It's just the list goes on. It's nice to be able to just go away from that. Now I have to see the stuff about. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to say that. I'm trying to be.
When are the people going to come out of the woodwork? It's like, oh, CJ was never going to come back. I can't believe.
I will say I'm going to be interested for those who don't know, just because they're going to be like, holy crap, this person's still alive. Be like, yeah, maybe.
For now.
He survived COVID, everybody.
I'm already dead. You knew actually, funny enough, I actually re-saw that documentary recently. I was like, oh, I remember that.
You cut off there. What was that?
Oh, sorry. I said I even rewatched the documentary. I
Yeah.
remember that.
That was a really good thing.
Yeah,
That was during COVID.
It was.
So,
That's right. It was.
but yeah, no, I'm
Right
glad I
in the
could be able to join in the car one more time on the long road trip to the Absolution, right?
Yeah.
All right, now get out, you bum.
I've been waiting for this my whole life.
You
My
are
whole
always
life.
welcome to join us again, but no pressure.
I know. No. I trust me. You guys. I think everyone here has my phone number. At least I hope so. If not, I can fix that. But yeah, no.
Goddamn
And then
digits.
drop not on a podcast. I don't
No.
need that.
Don't do that.
I
Don't do
said
that.
I got them digits.
Oh
Don't
Yeah,
drop
I
them.
got him too.
no, you can call me at 617
Don't dox yourself.
315. Oh, I wish I knew the phone number that will automatically send you to John C's theme song. I wish I knew that off the top of my head. That would have been so funny.
I mean, you can't see me.
Something to unlock.
Right? But no, it was good. I missed this. I missed you guys. It was good. And work's
missed
been
you.
keeping me busy, so we'll see.
We're happy that you've moved on to bigger and better things.
I know, really am following Jose's lineage, aren't I?
Yeah.
Because he went to ESPN and then CNN, right?
Why are you the next Jose? I was supposed to be the next Jose.
Get that
Wait, did
man
anyone
a job,
actually say
CNN.
that?
What? No.
Oh, I was about to say, like, what the heck?
I'm
I
just
didn't even
joking
know I
about
was
myself.
Jose.
Speaking of Jose, please buy the Blu-ray DVD of IGPX remastered. Thank you.
Yes. Please do.
Buy it.
It's
And
it's
don't
such a
forget to
labor of
use your
love.
Twitch Prime on the Toonami Faithful podcast channel.
Hey!
Hey!
We've never asked anybody to do that.
I'm doing it for you. I used to stream.
Do we even have ads set up on this thing? I don't think we do.
Twitch does it automatically.
Oh, right.
I don't even know what you're talking about. That's how little time I use. Like, I just watch people play games on Twitch, and that's it.
I spend
Your
way
Twitch
more-
Primes. Give us
I
your
spent-
Twitch
I
Primes.
spend way more time on. I don't know who I've given my Twitch Prime to.
Oh, sketch. You probably gave it to Pokimane then.
No.
And my Twitch
Probably
Prime
the first
belongs to a
person I
friend of
ever
mine.
subscribed to on Twitch that I'm still subscribed to. Probably.
Probably. But yeah, no, it was good to be back. I missed hearing your guys' voices live.
Right back at you.
Aw, shucks.
Aw, shucks.
And we missed your sexy
Yeah.
baritone.
Wait, please don't. No. I had to deal with that with the Pokemon community when I switched or when I was on Twitch. It's nothing special, guys, please.
Disagree.
I have the face for radio and the voice for TV. So it's really nothing special.
Aw.
Pshaw. All right. We're having a lot of fun here. But house cleaning. You can email us at podcast@toonamifaithful.com. If you sent in anything lately at podcast@toonamifaithful.com and we haven't read it on the podcast, I swear I'm not seeing anything. So I don't know what to tell you. If you are doing that, hit me up on Twitter. That's the easiest way to contact me. My DMs are open. You can follow us on Facebook.com/Toonami Faithful Podcast and Twitter @Toonami Podcast. You can listen to the podcast on just about everything, including Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Overcast, Podbay, Podbean, Podcast Addict, Radio.com, Spotify, and the TuneIn app. And you can find every episode to stream online at the same place they found the encrypted clinical trials on Lazarus. That's right, SoundCloud.com. Will I stop using this joke after Lazarus is over?
No,
Probably not.
never.
Never.
SoundCloud.com/Toonami Faithful Podcast. Go to SoundCloud.com. Toonami Faithful Podcast. That's I'm sure. And you can get the latest news by following @ToonamiFaithful.com on Blue Sky and @ToonamiKnows on Twitter. And read the news, views, and reviews on ToonamiFaithful.com. I just said Toonami Nows. It's Toonami News. We've been talking a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, that sure is a podcast.
It's a Lord of the Rings length podcast.
I only give the viewers and listeners the best.
I mean, it's not even close to our longest.
No, what was the
Kuro and I
longest?
talked about Naruto Shippuden for 4 hours.
We had
Oh
the
my
best
God.
time. So I
Sketch?
feel no
Go listen
guilt
to that
about
if you want to hear our
Sketch,
thoughts on Naruto
sketch,
Shippuden.
blink if you're a hostage, okay?
Oh, I enjoyed it. We had a great conversation.
This was actually his idea, and I was all for it. I was like, let's fucking do this.
So he's a
Yeah.
masochist.
Oh yeah,
might
he's
be.
got good.
I mean,
taste.
I've been doing this for how many years, so obviously I am a masochist.
I'm sitting on my notes for the next iteration of that series. I keep having to go back and refresh my memory from those episodes too. So, not from the episodes of the recording, the episodes of Shippuden.
Why not both?
Why
Yeah.
not both?
Why not?
Actually, did listen to both of those. I had to do a long drive, and I was like, this was so much fun. I'm having a
Yeah.
great time.
So now that Lazarus is over, I don't know if we're going to keep talking about every show every week. I mean, thank goodness we didn't try to cram Blue Exorcist into this episode.
God.
that
Nope.
would have been bad. So we're probably going to alternate Daima, Blue Exorcist, maybe Dawn to Dawn. We'll talk about the first episode of Dawn to Dawn when it airs, but
I completely forgot Blue Exorcist Season 2 is on Toonami now. I
yeah,
love
it
that
finally
show.
happened.
I love that show.
Finally
too.
happened.
Good show.
Hey, if you want to come on and talk about that.
Is it the Kyoto Saga?
Yeah, it's
It
the
is.
Kyoto Saga.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I even own that. I love
Yeah.
Blue Exorcist.
Oh
Like
my
you know,
goodness,
sketch.
you paid
I'm-
the Aniplex prices
Me
for
too.
that?
What a coincidence.
It's sketch. If there's
Ooh.
one thing you need to know about me, I like crappy anime and I love the Halloween motif anime. That's two things.
I see.
This
Two
is-
things.
It's my favorite
So
season.
Soul Eater is like your favorite
We're bringing
thing
you
ever, then.
on.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love Soul Eater. That was what got me to even find out Toonami in the first place all the way back then. It was Soul
CJ,
Eater
are
that
you
got
watching season 3 of Fire Force? It's pretty lit.
my brother and I love.
I need to get back. I watched like the first episode.
But no, like it was a thing. Soul Eater made me found the Adult Swim Toonami. Kill la Kill made me found you guys. Those are two very important shows. But I love the Halloween
Okay.
motif. So any type of Halloween theme, because my old kind of ritual was on October 1st, I would only watch Halloween style anime. So
Oh my
you know,
God.
Zombie Apocalypse, Soul Eater
My
stuffs.
people. My people.
Halloween's my favorite holiday. So
It's time to bust out the hot D.
Jeez.
That's High School of the Dead. High School. Of the Dead.
I loved High School of the Dead. That is trashy, but it's good trashy.
Oh, it's very good trash.
That was not
Listen.
the first thing I thought when you said that. And no, it wasn't dirty. It was just confusing.
Don't lie.
It wasn't.
I know when somebody says hot D, they might confuse it with High School DxD. Totally different.
Oh God.
That one was also
Not-
good.
It's a very fun show.
Yes, but no, I love Halloween motifs. So, that's awesome. I actually did not realize that was going on right now. So that's good. So now we have Kuro's namesake. in
Yeah.
Toonami
I know.
again.
And don't think that I haven't brought that up a lot.
CJ, did you really didn't know that they completely reran the first season of Blue Exorcist? Like
I had no idea.
randomly last year, they're like, "Yeah, we got Blue Exorcist back." Just the first season? Yep, just
We
the
had,
first
like,
season.
14 weeks of speculating whether or not they would bring back the second season, and we were like really, really hoping they would. And so it was just
Thankfully,
the
they
most
did.
relief I felt was when they did. I was like, oh my God. The second half of that series is not good,
I'd been-
as
I
we
would have been
said.
so mad if they made us sit through
Oh,
6
God.
months
Now you need to
Yeah.
get
of
us more
reruns
Mashal
and
already.
That is
not
just-
continue it.
Yeah, I think, like I really I will tell anyone who starts it fresh, just stop around episode 17 and then go straight to
Yep.
Kyoto Saga.
You're
Don't
still going to
finish
be
it.
a little confused by how things start. But
Yeah, but it's an
you'll
easier
get over it.
transition. It's an easier transition.
Are they making a third season too?
They
There's
did.
five.
five.
There's
There's
five
five now.
seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am so
There's-
out of the loop.
they
You and I
made-
talked
they
about
made- You really
3 and
have
4
been in
on,
the Hobbit
on my
hole.
podcast.
Laser and I
Um,
talked about 3 and 4, and we're going to talk about 5 at some point.
We are.
Are they
I
on
need to actually
Crunchyroll
watch-
and in English?
Yes, they're on
Yes.
Crunchyroll
Okay.
dubbed.
Cool,
And they're really good. They're really,
are.
really good.
I read the
They're our
manga,
dear
so of
friend,
course I'm very
Alex
excited for
Von
And
that.
they
Day
are-
still
too.
doing the dub.
They follow according to Laser, who has read these. They do follow the manga.
I
pretty
have
well.
least read as far as the
Excellent.
anime has gone, and yeah, no, they do a good job. Season 5 is the Blue Knight storyline.
Oh, you're joking.
Nope,
Yeah.
nope. We did the
Ugh.
Illuminati and arc in 3 and 4, and now we're doing
Yeah.
the flashback with the Blue Knight.
this
It's good shit.
Beyond the Snow. They did Beyond the Snow.
I
and
just
it's
don't
really-
have the time. I'm gonna have to try to make some time. I love Blue Exorcist.
You really
Oh,
had
Blue
no
Exorcist is
idea.
great.
I feel
No?
like it was advertised on Crunchyroll, so if you didn't even see that when you were watching Fire,
I don't have a Crunchyroll subscription. My brother does, so like I watch the Fire Force
Ah.
stuff with him because he knows that I like it. But no, I've been very out of the anime game. I haven't really, like I said, it wasn't until Re:Zero season 3 that I just happened to stumble upon where I'm like, oh my
Apparently
god.
Crunchyroll needs to promote their stuff more.
And
There's
then
a lot of things that they
obviously
need to do.
people had a panic attack of stalking on Amazon Prime because it wasn't on Crunchyroll. So I was like, sweet, I have Amazon Prime. I can actually watch it. Haha. So
It worked out
I'm
nice.
it's pretty much just those two that I've seen more recently. And then my brother's like, hey, Fire Force, since you're watching anime again. Oh, I can do that. And then my coworker was telling me about Black Clover. Oh yeah. Oh wait, Anime Expo. That must be why we're getting news of it. Okay. Let me talk to some people and see. I didn't talk to anybody. I just went on Twitter and I was like, "Oh, this is happening." No, you could have literally like I don't even know what this Dragon Ball
Daima.
I
Yeah,
have
Dragon
no
Ball
idea.
Daima. Whole new Dragon Ball show. Last one Toriyama worked on.
They're little. It's GT redone.
It's
like, yeah,
GT.
It's
No!
GT, but good.
GT was peak.
Now I
It
know
gave
you're
us
not
Vegeta and a mustache.
talking- Well, that is peak,
Mm.
yes.
So no,
I shake
I
my mustache.
but no, I'm very much ignorant when it comes to anime now. Like I know very little of. And you know what? It's been
That's okay.
peaceful. It's been peaceful more than anything. But I'll definitely have to start looking at that. I mean, I'll text my brother to try to get more of the Fire Force things done. I've been kind of busy.
Well, if
Yeah, you have
prioritize Blue Exorcist so
4
that you
seasons
can come
of
here and
Blue
talk about
Exorcist
it.
you could watch.
Blue Exorcist.
Yeah.
Isn't that one with the cat?
Mm-hmm.
What? What?
I
are
love
you
the
trying
cat.
to do? Are you trying to provoke a reaction? How did you not remember the most important character? The most important character.
Ah, Satan.
Oh, them
They
fighting
can be.
words.
They can be sometimes. I have a little devilish one myself, which I'm pretty sure is the spawn.
I'm sorry, I derailed the house cleaning.
You sure did.
You did. We're
Sure
gonna have
did.
to cut it.
So now your penance is telling folks where they can find you if they can.
I mean, you can. I still have my Twitter account. I don't really post anything on it. I did post a great Pokemon meme because I work at ESPN now. It's that whole thing. Look, it's Espen. That's not my name to the Espeon. I was just like, wow. Felt. So felt. But yeah, no, I don't really post anything just because, like, I don't know. I'm just living life, even though I barely do anything. I just try to stay off of social media. The only time I'm on social media is when I'm like stuck at work for like the last show and like we're waiting for games to end. So it's like, you know, once like there's nothing to do, I can just like, all right, let me scroll on here. But no, I've just been kind of I'm trying to heal, if that makes sense. Slowly.
Makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Slowly. And you know, the new job and the new has been really, although Connecticut is super hot. I can't take it. I hate it. I am literally melting. I just step out of my apartment and I'm melting. It's humid.
Mm.
So, but yeah, no, I mean, you can find me there. I mean, considering the news I just got from now, maybe I will be on more episodes. Who knows?
I'll tap you when the time comes.
When Black Clover gets back on, like, you have me. I'm there. I love Black Clover. I want to see my little misfits again.
Okay. Steven, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me live tweeting the Lazarus sub marathon right now. Aside from that,
In
it's
15
MXA.
minutes.
Yeah, it's MXA Ghost on like Blue Sky, X, like whatever. If you want to follow me, all you're gonna see are tweets about Kamen Rider and Yu-Gi-Oh. But that's mostly my wheelhouse right now. Aside from that, yeah. I will say, CJ, thanks for mentoring me to where I am on the social media side, and your monthly requirement of putting Charmy from Black Clover is continuing and will continue into the future.
Does my heart good. Does my heart good. I even had a conversation with Celia about some old posts that I missed. But let me tell you, we had some lucky individuals, and I'm very thankful I've been able to vanish to leave everything in wonderful hands in both, or not both, in all aspects of To Not Be Faithful.
Laser, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at LaserKid Prime. You can find me on Blue Sky at LaserKid. Have a Blue Sky. And you can find me on my podcast, The Simuldub Saints, on YouTube, Spotify podcasts, and for social media, we're also at Simuldub Saints on Twitter and Blue Sky. So yeah, I'm all over the place.
And Kuro, tell the folks where they can find you.
Both on Blue Sky and on Twitter, the same name, at Happy Kuro Kitty. You can find me there. And please check out the website. We're, trying to add more content. So if there's something you're interested, if there are things, the type of things that you like to read, please give me a shout out. And like CJ said, if you are emailing and you're not getting a response, you can send me a DM. It's okay.
I know what I'm doing later tonight, boys. More Blue Exorcist and Black Clover.
Yeah, I'm
But
here
you're
for that.
supposed to watch the Lazarus marathon that starts in 12 minutes.
Yes.
Fine, I'll have my
We better
vegetables
hurry
first.
this up. Sketch, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Sketch1984 and on Blue Sky, search for Sketch1984. Thank you all for listening, whether you're tuned into the live stream, listen to the podcast after the fact. We always appreciate your listenership. Be sure to share the podcast with your friends if you think they'd be interested. And until next time, don't take Hapna.